Okay, Vanessa. So this is where the party at, huh?
I'm just in the slots for a minute.
Oh, I got me a little blackjack heater going myself. That's my guy Steve right there. Would be nice to get a king, Steve.
Come on, give Fox that king,
Come on,
Steve.
Steve, give me the king. Give me the king, Steve! Got the king! Blackjack! Blackjack! Woo!
He got the king.
I got it.
He got the king.
I think we're live as we wait for Olivia to hop on board here. Welcome, everybody. Got the 2/3 of the Unleashed podcast here, sponsored by BetMGM, live for a little watch party. So, yeah, thanks for everybody joining. Olivia will be here in a second. Unfortunately, we're missing our right-hand man, Jerry Ferrara. You might know him as Turtle in Entourage, Proctor in Power. But, yeah, super excited to watch this game. I myself am not having a great day after whatever you want to call that Niners game. Olivia, there you are.
Hi, guys. Welcome in. So excited to be here. We've been running around. I just got back from the airport, and we're getting settled in. I am so ready to watch some football and cheer on my Kansas City Chiefs because I know I'm going to have a better day than you, Peter Andreu. Let's just say that.
I was going to say, we're kind of spiraling in different directions right now. You're having a great day. We're going to talk about who you got to hang out with this morning or this afternoon.
Yes.
And we're also, I'm sure, going to talk about the awful experience I've had for the last 3.5 hours watching a half of those San Francisco 49ers, I suppose.
So I've just got to ask, because I was flying during most of the game, and I'm listening to my dad actually was calling the game on Westwood One radio, and I'm listening to the end and hearing about the fight at the end. So what did they show on TV? What were you seeing?
At that point, I was so disgusted that I didn't even want to watch, but you saw a little bit of Trent Williams taking out some of his frustration.
Yeah.
I mean, to wrap a bow on the game, Niners go in, Brock Purdy looking good. I mean, he hasn't lost yet this season. Hurt 5 minutes into the game. Josh Johnson, journeyman, who's been on, I think, 17 different teams, hurt, concussion protocol. So then you're playing the rest of the game with Brock Purdy, who can't throw a ball. He literally couldn't throw it more than 5 yards. So Trent Williams taking out some of that frustration there, which was just not pretty, not the way we wanted to go out. And I have a couple quarrels with the refs from that game, which was just not great either.
Well, I was thinking immediately, I go, who's going to play at quarterback when I heard he was hurt? And then I remembered Christian McCaffrey has played like every position at some point and has done so well. And I did see he attempted a couple passes, right?
Yeah, he did. I was hoping for that. I was hoping for Juwan Jennings, the Tennessee alumni, who actually was I think a 4-star quarterback recruit coming out of high school into college. So anything but Brock Purdy at that point. I mean, who knows what he's got? Just it was not pretty.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a comment here from Bob Matthews. We're wondering, what is the over-under on arrests in Philly tonight? I think there shouldn't be an under. Just always take the over, Bob.
Did you see that they greased the light poles so that people wouldn't climb them? I mean, okay, so just to make sure our feed is synced up and with everyone else, we just had opening kickoff and the Bengals are about to start their first drive. Is that where you're at, Pete?
Yeah, I just saw the kickoff. They're on the 10. Do my best Kevin Harlan impression.
Easy. So let's give everyone a little preview of what this is going to be with us here, because you and I are going to be live streaming the game, kind of like Manning Cast, have a little watch party. And like I said, I'm just ready to sit here and enjoy some football. We're going to be doing live bets and talking about our bets, which will be very fun. And as we go, we have some big time guests. I'm talking like NFL Hall of Famers, people.
We got some big ones. And I want to have a little fun. I want to give away some money. So if people don't know me, I work for BetMGM. I'm head of our promotions team. I want to give some money away. So I want everybody in the comments to just pick who they think the first touchdown scorer is going to be. I'm going to randomly pick one or two. I'll give you each a $50 free bet, assuming you have an account with BetMGM. Once that happens, we'll figure out how to make the payments. I'll have you guys DM me, but pick who you think is going to be first touchdown scorer for this game. Obviously, Bengals start. Let's see if they can move the field a little bit. If not, maybe you think a Chiefs guy comes in first. So, want to give away a little bit of money. It's the least I can do after the awful 3 hours I've had. So,
you're feeling generous?
Feeling generous.
All right, here we go, too. We're going to be having live stats. This is really cool. I love this. I'm kind of a stat nerd, so I like to see where we're at. So, Pete, I don't want to make sure if I'm ahead of you that I'm not giving anything away. I've got 13:45 on the clock.
I'm at 14, at 14 on the dot. So you've got me by a couple seconds.
Okay.
But it's all right. You deserve to have the first feed because you're obviously the Chiefs fan. For me, I can sit at the sidelines for 15, 20 seconds. It's all good.
Okay, I got to say, I was just on a flight. I flew in from Dallas this morning with an event with Deion Sanders. We were moderating something there. And on my flight, Dallas to Kansas City, which let me just say, if you were on it, I landed, I think, 4:40. People were rushing to Arrowhead. The whole flight, everyone was wearing Chiefs stuff. And,
Yep.
you know, on Southwest, I was flying Southwest. You know that they have some fun on the intercom. So there was a lot of that. It was very festive. When I landed, I walked outside. It was freezing. So, again, I live here in Kansas City. I'm probably 20 miles from Arrowhead. And it's a very cold night.
You keep saying Arrowhead. You mean Burrowhead? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean Arrowhead. And be respectful.
I love the animosity this week. I mean,
I know.
I didn't realize how much these teams hated each other till these last couple of days, and it's legit.
Yeah. I mean, setting the stage, obviously, we have a Chiefs injury. Who is that? Setting the stage, obviously, the talk all week has been really good because the Chiefs pride themselves on not getting involved in the chatter. And then I saw a couple defensive players, they said, what impresses you most about the Bengals offense? And they said, nothing.
Yeah.
It's like, are you sure? You sure?
That's kind of like the high road of trash talking. Instead of like giving detail, just saying nothing, just still a little dig, but not taking the same like Burrowhead kind of dig.
Right. Obviously, Joe Burrow's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. You can really make a good argument. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but if Cincinnati wins tonight, you can make a good argument that Joe Burrow's the best quarterback in the league. I think even right now where he's at, and stay with me here, I think right now where he's at is ahead of Josh Allen, under Mahomes.
Yep.
Which I know people are going to say, well, what do you mean he's beat him 3 times? But I think Patrick Mahomes still deserves his flowers. But if they win tonight, I think there's a new king of the castle.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's still parts of Josh Allen's game that just don't equal up to what Mahomes is. And I think to your point, Burrow, you saw what Mahomes can do without Tyreek Hill this year, where it's drag and drop different wideouts. When Burrow gets to that point, or Burrow obviously accomplishes this again 2 years in a row beating the Chiefs, I'm with you that it's more 1A, 1B. For now, I think Mahomes clear number 1, but it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes, see how bad the ankle is. I mean, Kelsey's banged up too, so probably in the first drive or two, you're going to learn a lot about this Chiefs team and what you're going to see tonight.
Yep. If people listen to Unleashed, which I hope they do every week, comes out every Thursday, our podcast Unleashed. I was talking about it this week, so if anyone's hearing this twice, I apologize, but I was the sideline reporter of the Chiefs-Jacksonville game last weekend, and I was right by Patrick Mahomes as he got injured, and watching his resiliency and his determination to stay in that game was so impressive to me. I've seen a lot of that as a sideline reporter over the years, but I've never seen someone so unwilling to leave the field of play. Do you know what I mean? Even the sideline, that guy was not wanting to go in the locker room, and it looked like an intervention. It looked like trying to send someone to rehab. They were it was Eric Bieniemy. It was Andy Reid. Obviously, they were all around him trying to get him to go in the locker room to get an X-ray on that ankle. Finally, of course, they did, and he was furious, and I was standing right by him, and I was a little scared there for a minute. You don't want to get in the way. Oh, Joe Burrow with a great run. What's his over-under for rushing, Pete? Let's look at Joe Burrow's.
I got it right here. Give me one sec.
Mm-hmm. Both passing totals for both quarterbacks was really high.
Yeah. I mean, what is Mahomes? 320
two-
something at this point? Or is it in the twos?
I thought it was 285, 279, and Joe Burrow 277. Let's say if you have to take the over on one of them, which one do you like?
Burrow. I think Burrow for sure. Going back to your point about Mahomes before, where he did not want to come off the field.
Yep.
That's why I was kind of upset with today with Brock Purdy, because you kept seeing his lip reading, and it was like, I can't throw the ball, I can't do this, and you never know about injuries, and you never know how severe it is, but to kind of see that in the NFC Championship versus last week with Mahomes saying, "Do not take me out of this freaking game," that to me is someone who's a winner and someone who's just playing the game. And again, you never know, the injury might come out tomorrow that it was a terrible elbow injury, but you see that, and at face value, you just question it.
Kansas City defense gets a huge stop. 4th and 18. Looks like Bengals are going to punt. So first touchdown score looks like it could be a Chief. Who are some of our best bets there?
Kelsey got to be the guy, right? It's
yeah.
We talked about this on Tuesday. I think I never know which way to go with the Chiefs besides Kelsey, because all the weapons. You have Pacheco, you have McKinnon, you have typically 3 or 4 different wide receiver options. You always have that Mahomes sneak kind of sitting on the back burner.
Yep.
But if you want to go based off, if we're going based off odds specifically, so Kelsey plus 750, then you have McKinnon next at 10-1, so plus 1,000. Pacheco 12-1, plus 1,200, and then the list starts going a little bit more difficult. Juju at plus 1,800, Kadarius Toney plus 1,800. So typically sharp money is on Kelsey, and I know for a fact today money is on Jamar Chase first touchdown at BetMGM. So if a Chief does score here, great for the book. But again, both
you
teams
speak
have
on
these
behalf
weapons.
of the book. You speak on behalf of the book. I speak on behalf of the people.
That's it. That's why we're like a yin and yang here.
I don't know why I just got butterflies as Patrick Mahomes took the field. I'm very nervous for this. Like I said, I'm a Chiefs fan. I do think this is the Bengals game. I like them to at least cover. Everyone knows the line's gone back and forth all week following people tracking this ankle injury. What did it close at, Pete? 2.5?
2.5.
Favoring Kansas City. Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting. It didn't move back towards the Chiefs as much as I thought it would, but there was so much early money on obviously Bengals with the early question on the injury. I think seeing that it stays under 3 points and being a home game for the Chiefs, that's everybody telling me obviously that they think the Bengals are the favorite here. So I think overall the line makes a lot of sense, and it's going to be a dogfight. So
this matchup, all 3 meetings with Burrow and Mahomes, Burrow's won, and haven't they all been decided by 3 points or less? They've all been super close.
So one bet I actually saw pregame that I think is really interesting is you could have taken plus 325. So what we have is just like an exact score, almost like a margin of victory kind of bet. Yeah. So if you would have taken Chiefs to win by 1-6 and Bengals to win by 1-6, you could have gotten essentially almost 3.5-1 on them. Seems like a really good bet. There's obviously 15 other options and variables, but if every one of these games is a three-point swing, then I think you get really good value right there.
I got to say, Chiefs offense is looking really good. Pacheco had a huge kind of catch and run along the sideline. Now Travis Kelce just had a big catch. I don't know how many yards, but they're marching. This is really exciting to watch. They look great.
Yeah, and you need that for what was it? His back, Kelce. So first drive coming out looks good.
Right now, if I had to say first touchdown scorer, I like Kelce. I think they're going to use his security blanket. That's his guy. Let him get in early. Let them get their rhythm. So
we need this. We need this because for the Unleashed bet of the week that I have, I have a 1-game parlay with Kelce anytime touchdown in there. We'll show that scrolling on the bottom of the screen in a little bit, but I could use that for sure.
Something interesting about the Bengals, their secondary is so good. They allow the lowest completion percentage against opposing quarterbacks in the league. So everyone was saying if you are looking at what Mahomes is going to do, that's kind of the matchup. Where then on the other side, when you look at the Chiefs defense, they allow the most pass touchdowns in the NFL in the regular season, but their front seven, everyone knows, is so good. So I feel like that's kind of what it comes down to. We can sit here all day and talk about Mahomes versus Burrow, but I feel like whoever has a more consistent day defensively.
So what was so the total I think closed at 48.5 or somewhere right around there. What was your lean? Was it taking the over, taking the under? Because I think it could be tight.
I didn't, never said. I'm a very nervous bettor.
I know. I mean, we'll get into some of our nervous betting in London a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I was going to say, except on New Year's Eve, about 10 glasses of champagne deep.
Yeah.
Oh.
We didn't win one bet.
Oh! Is it a touchdown? Kadarius Toney. No.
I'm getting there.
I don't think it counted. I know. I'm sorry I'm ahead of you. I don't know if they're counting it. I never saw the signal. No catch. I gotta say, it's really fun to see all the comments up here, and we are reading them. Sorry, we're getting in the flow of this. And it's so fun, obviously, the start of the game, and we're following that. But I am seeing your comments, and we are going to answer some questions here. Love all of this. I see Uncle Drew WNBA, hashtag nervous bettor. Yeah. I mean, is that not everyone? I don't think you should trust. Okay, we're going to kick field goal. I don't think you should trust a not nervous bettor. You work hard for your money. You don't want to just throw it away on a whim.
Yeah, and anytime I've ever been confident for a bet, it loses. So the nervousness actually, it means I think that's what always happens. Nervous bet ends up better chance of hitting. Confident bet, you're just a mush.
Yeah. Oh, this is so good. No, it's funny. Like, you're running around. Like I said, I literally just stepped off a plane and into my house, and I'm sitting on my living room floor, just excited to watch this game. And the second it comes up on the TV, I get nervous. It's like the nerves of a game you care so much about. And my whole family's at the game, and we love the Chiefs. Really hoping they can get this one.
So tell everybody a little bit of the dynamic in your family. So obviously big Chiefs fan, but also you have some ties to the Packers for those that haven't heard the podcast or haven't heard the story.
Yeah. Also, I'm seeing Jeffrey Morgan, never trust a skinny chef. I think that's also very true. I love that. Yeah. So I've been with BetMGM like 2.5 years now, right, Pete?
Yep.
Host of the podcast Unleashed with Jerry Ferrara. I'm also a sideline reporter for Westwood One. I've been at ESPN a long time, Fox, CBS, covering college football, NFL, college basketball, tennis. So your girl's got range. And now I'm a new mom. I live here in Kansas City, where I'm born and raised. My husband plays basketball, and we move every year for his basketball career. And we're currently based in London. I'm just home because I'm working, going back to London after the Super Bowl. So we are going to Phoenix. We're going to do a live episode of Unleashed there, which is going to be so much fun. We're going to, I hope, get Peter Andreu back out there. I was pregnant last time, so couldn't imbibe as much as I would have liked, but this year I think we'll have some fun.
Yeah,
we'll have my intro.
That was pretty good. By the way, you forgot to mention Sam Dekker, BBL Cup champ as of today, right?
Yes, today was a huge day.
So for those that don't know, Sam Dekker, Wisconsin stud, played in the NBA. Now he's, basically the captain of the London Lions in the British Basketball League, and they won the MVP. Cup today. So
he was MVP.
Huge, well deserved.
Oh, I'm so proud of him. And again, just our life, we're constantly ships passing in the night, always have been. And I think we can complain about it, but we also wouldn't have it any other way. And we both love what we do. But I was so excited. I walked off the stage. I was speaking to a group of 5,000 a day with Deion Sanders on a stage. And I walk off the stage and I see that they won the game and he got MVP. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what a day. I'm so excited for him. He's in his 8th year. 9th year. I think he's watching too. So 8th year.
Waiting to see him pop up in the comments here.
Yeah, I know.
I'm not going to lie. It was the first time I got to meet Sam a couple weeks ago. So I was in London with my wife for New Year's and we got to go to dinner with Olivia, Sam, and a couple other team members. And I kind of fanboyed a little bit when Sam gave me his first dap hug. I was like, all right, I made it. I've officially made it.
No, I think you fanboyed more over Costa Koufos, who's his teammate, 11-year NBA vet, now playing over for the London Lions with Sam. And Peter Andreu is half Greek, half Italian. And I think I upped your Greek hypeness a little bit. And And Costa came up to him and I think started speaking Greek to you and called you out for not speaking very good Greek. So
yeah, he pretty much put me back down to earth quickly. And then Steph said something. He was like, okay, she's a real one. You're not a real one.
Okay, Harrison Butker's lining up. 43-yard attempt.
So this is good right here. This is a fantastic call, that no catch, incomplete. This is what happened, basically the opposite in the Niners game. First drive for the Eagles.
It's good.
Completely missed call from the ref. Clear as day incompletion. Kyle Shanahan didn't challenge it. They have the quick, I don't know what you call it, but basically like their quick response where the refs will get a call into their earbud, and incomplete as well. So nice to see one call one right today. Yeah, I'm a little bit sour still, but not great.
Did you lose money on that game?
I might have lost a couple bucks. Yeah. Actually, it's more about what I didn't win because I had a couple of hefty futures. So I had them at like 25-1 early in the season, or probably 20-1. So it was more about what I could have had after 2 weeks from now versus just a couple bucks I had on the game today.
Oh, I think we have our first guest joining us. Like we said, we have some really impressive guests coming on. So you don't just have to listen to us yabber the whole time and me geek out about the Chiefs. So we'll see if we can get him opened up. Dhani Jones, I see him.
Hear me?
Yes, sir, we do. How are you?
I'm good. Just watching my Bengals run this ball back.
Okay.
Man, that's pretty good run.
What do you think?
I don't know in the beginning of the game, I don't know. You know, it's funny. I know Steve Spagnuolo, who is the coordinator for the Chiefs, and obviously Andy Reid played, with both of them when I was at Philadelphia, and then to be able to see them on the sideline here with Patrick Mahomes, but at the same time, it's like against my former team being the Bengals.
Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of an interesting, interesting position to be in, because I feel like I kind of played for both teams, and I love how comfortable Burrow is within the pocket. And I don't think, because of the fact that the Chiefs came out and they basically had a lot of energy, that it says that the Bengals are not going to play well. It's just the nature of where we are, right? It's a championship game. So, and I love the fact that so many shots were traded throughout the last week on both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You even have the mayor of Cincinnati who was saying all kinds of stuff. He even did a video about it. I love that. But these are the types of games that everybody wants to play. Now, look, two sacks against the Bengals, and and wow, we knew it was going to be tough. You knew it was going to be a tough game.
Yeah, just an update. Chiefs cornerback L'Jarius Sneed is being evaluated for a head injury. We just saw that. Everyone in the comments, also, if you have a question for Mr. Jones, you can drop it. It'll be fun, and I hope you can see those too if you want to ask. Are you based in Cincinnati now?
No, I'm not based. I'm based in Cincinnati. I'm based on the East Coast, and
Gotcha.
But I remember living in Cincinnati. It's such a wonderful town. So many amazing people, and they really just took great care of me. And I feel like Cincinnati is a place that I can always call home, because I lived there so long. Matter of fact, I lived there about the same amount of time that I lived, growing up.
Yeah.
I was a military kid, and then all of a sudden, living in Cincinnati for a little over 10 years. Fantastic town, and a lot of friends are still there. And I remember when Burrow came to town, people were just really excited about the way that he carried himself, the way that he played the game, and sort of like the nature of how the team was starting to make that shift. And they've had tremendous success ever since.
Yeah.
Where do you lean on your NFC team? So obviously started with the Giants, transitioned down to Philly. I knew you were going to ask me that question. You're going to ask me that question. You're like, oh, who are you pulling for? I mean, it's a loaded question just because I'm a Niners fan and I just witnessed that debacle for 3.5 hours. So I'm wondering if you're sticking with me as a Jersey boy, if we're kind of lean towards Philly a little bit. I'm sticking with Philly. I mean, I had three great teams, and they were all in the playoffs. I mean, Giants, Eagles. I mean, I'm sitting there right in the middle on the 50-yard line, just rooting for both teams, rooting for all of my friends. And I won regardless,
because my Eagles now win, and the fact that they're in the Super Bowl. I mean, it's kind of like I kind of win regardless, with the Chiefs and the Bengals, because I know the coaches, I know the team, I know the owners, I know some of the players. But as I said before, playing in Cincinnati, that's home. It's hard to beat a place that you were, for a decade.
Mm-hmm.
You play on a team for 4 years, you live there for another 6 years, you spend time, you build community. It's hard to say that that's not a part of your overall DNA and part of who you are.
Yep.
We just saw Joe Burrow get sacked and the Bengals punt again. So, hey, first touchdown score is still up in the air. We were just talking about that one before because that's one of the big bets right now at BetMGM. So both teams have had a possession. Bengals have had 2 and have come away with just 1 Kansas City field goal. What are you making right now of that offensive line for Cincinnati? Because Kansas City's front 7 seem to just have their way.
Well, they've all had their ups and downs, and I just remember the Bengals at the very beginning of the year. They kind of struggled, and they're kind of carrying this momentum into this game. But when you have a great quarterback like Burrow, it gives the offensive line so much flexibility, right? Because he's able to make plays with his feet, and he's just so smart. And a lot of times he gets out of so many situations. But that defensive line, as I mentioned before, Spags will tune things up just like Jim Johnson did back in the Eagles days. And he'll basically bring the house. He'll leave everybody open and just come at them, And I think
aggressive.
the very aggressive. And the Bengals, they've had some injuries on the offensive line, and I was a little bit, unsure as to what would happen. And last game, it was just like next man up. Let's go play back to back. And I think that's the new approach that the Bengals have taken. I think that's why the tide has essentially turned, is because everybody recognized their value, and I think they identify really good players that can just be the next one in. Yeah,
a lot of injuries too on that O-line right now. Hefty Duck says O-line looking like Swiss cheese. Ouch. Hefty Duck.
Who's Hefty Duck?
Oh, hey, Hefty Duck. It's probably my husband.
Where's Hefty Duck? You can tweet at me at Dhani Jones. You just tweet at me, Hefty Duck, whoever you are. Sometimes, I always say that the game doesn't even start till the fourth quarter. And I know a lot of people make fun of me when I say that. But it's really true. Not till the very end of the game do you really start to see all of the plays, really start to culminate in this, what I like to call like the crescendo of the game. The first 15 plays are naturally scripted between both teams, offense and defense. They pretty much know what everybody's going to do. They're feeling each other out. Second quarter of the game, depending upon where the score is, you're just really trying to hold on, not really show too many of your cards. And that's what so many great Super Bowl teams are really good at, is going in during halftime and saying to the team, okay, we knew what they were going to do. They did a couple things here and there. We're going to switch things up. We're going to make the adjustments. And then the ramp starts to begin in the third quarter to see if those ideas actually started working. And then in the fourth quarter, you just bring everything. They were talking on the game about how they think that, Spagnuolo was probably holding some things back from their previous game. And he's probably right. But what he didn't say was that probably the Bengals did the same thing. And that's why they're both here.
So what about from like a nerve standpoint? So you've played important games, NFC Championship, AFC Championship. At what point do you feel comfortable in a game like that, or a Super Bowl, or just an important playoff game? Do you kind of need to get popped to kind of get yourself in the zone, or are you ready from play one? And does it vary by position, like a quarterback as an example?
Well, I think it varies, not necessarily by position. I think it varies by person. It also has to do with the coaching style and what you're fed throughout the week, right? What you're fed to get hype. For me, I kind of had my own similar process that I would take on week in and week out, regardless if we were playing a regular game or if it was a postseason game. I always like to keep the same type of routine, so to speak. But I will say this, because of both teams being, past participants in the playoffs, there's a lot of less nerves.
Yep.
Right? They always say when you go out and play, if you're thinking too much, you're not playing. Right? You want to be able to go into the game and just be as relaxed as possible. That's how Burrow plays. That's how Mahomes plays. I mean, definitely Mahomes with his ankle, you can see he's a little bit more flat-footed when he's making some of his passes. And I know that the offensive line knows that, so they have to be a little bit more assured that the fact that Mahomes is not going to run. So that gives the Bengals a little bit of a heads up. But I think both teams are actually quite relaxed because they've kind of been there before.
So talk to me about playing at Arrowhead, because I'm living in Kansas City. I'm born and raised Kansas City. I've been to countless games there. It's one of my favorite stadiums to go to, obviously. But I was looking at in 1990 when Elway and the Broncos came, they were on the 1-yard line and the ref had to tell everyone to be quiet or they were going to get penalized. Like the Chiefs would get penalized if the crowd didn't quiet down. Of course they didn't. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen that story. Look back in the archives. It's amazing.
Did you see that hit?
No.
Oh my goodness. Oh my.
Uh-oh.
Gracious. Woo.
Who was it on?
Hit.
I think I'm a touch
that was a big
delayed.
hit. Maybe a little bit delayed. No, Smith, 65, just got blasted. Oh my goodness. Those are the types of hits I like to see.
Yeah?
Woo! Yeah.
Oh, okay. Boy, I
You
am
saw
delayed.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, Taylor Britt. Oh my gosh, that was a great hit.
Lord.
It's kind of hard. It's hard now in football to kind of make some of those hits and get away with them. There's a lot of things that are challenged right now. So that was a good clean hit. I love that. As a defensive player, you want to see a physical game. That's what football is about. But so
this 25 seconds was killing me just now on my delay, waiting for that hit to happen.
Oh, you're waiting. Oh, sorry. Spoiler alert. My bad.
Oh, I love it. It's all good.
You know what you need to do? You need to up your cable service, sir. Hey, you need to get that cable right.
I got cable downstairs, but I didn't want to jump in front of Olivia, who's watching on YouTube TV. So I was being a good, friendly co-host here, letting the Chiefs fans see it first.
But tell me what Arrowhead's like. Like, what do you remember playing there?
It's the Chiefs Stadium, Arrowhead Stadium, is a energy-filled place where people are just really passionate about their team, and certain. Well, you just what you just see?
The lateral.
Why would you do that? See, my opinion is like, why would you do something like that? That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't. Why'd they do? It was like hot potato.
Right. Well, people do that, or teams do that in order to kind of just test and see where people are. But in my opinion, like, you don't need to do that. Play a good, consistent game.
Yeah.
Just like that. Perfect. Mahomes,
that was a nice game.
Pass over the top. A nice game. You don't need to see too much. And McKinnon, McKinnon's going to make the catch all the time. Oh, am I a little bit ahead of you? See, I'm gonna give all. I should do maybe some of the.
Oh, Pete, you're gonna love this. Wait till you see it.
I'm basically the sideline reporter, and you guys are coloring play-by-play here.
Okay, now they went to McKinnon again.
Although these laterals could be nice for my little first touchdown score. Dhani, before you jumped on, I said I'm gonna give out $25 free bet to a couple people who pick correctly. So could be messing with some people if we send another little hook and ladder kind of style play like that.
Well, the Chiefs almost already scored. Oh! Sorry, I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened, but it might maybe cause a little bit of a heart palpitation on your part.
I'm curious in the comments.
Wait, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8.
Got 10 seconds to relax here.
7, 5, 4, 2.
Still on replay right here.
Right?
Well, I saw it, but who are they giving the ball to? Still Kansas City ball?
I can't say. I feel like I'm a little bit in a unique position right now. I know the future. I know your future right now.
Someone said Titans Time podcast was not expecting backyard football this early in the game. Seriously.
Man.
Mahomes still not wanting to plant that right foot.
Oh no.
2nd and goal. They're about to snap it.
I'm not even going to give anything away. All I'm saying is this.
Hand off to
It's
Pacheco. Touchdown. Chiefs touchdown.
Chiefs touchdown.
Pacheco.
Come on. What else? What else are you saying, Olivia?
So holding? Holding. Andrew Wiley, the guard. Okay, this is no way to watch a football game.
See, I didn't want to say anything. I'm just sitting here watching the game. I know a little bit ahead, but the amazing thing is when it comes down to the postseason. Wow, when it comes down to the postseason, the crowd really does matter. Crowd matters so much. I mean, I remember playing on the Eagles, and we would go, into some, challenge territory, and I would just get amped up by the other fans that were just yelling, screaming at me, cussing at me, telling me how bad I was. That just kind of fires you up. And so you asked the question before in terms of like nerves. Sometimes you just feel at home you don't have any nerves. Right? You just feel as though that other team's going to get you hyped up. The nerves are out of the door. You're ready to come out, as in football, you're ready to come out and fight. You're ready to go out and make some big hits and have a good time.
So on the replay right there, they just showed Kelsey was wide open. And of course, it's easy armchair quarterback as I'm sitting here watching. But how in the world did he miss Kelsey? That had to have been one of his first checks.
Well, one of his limitations, albeit with his foot, is going to be the fact that he's not going to be able to have full visibility of the field, right? Anybody that plays sports, you got to have both your feet moving both. If you've seen him throughout the beginning of the year when he was full health, when he was really healthy, he was able to move his body really well, and so he's able to move his eyes really well, right? And so if he can't move his feet, he's going to miss some of those checks. He's going to miss some of those passes, and inevitably people are going to be open.
That's good analysis. That is good analysis. See, that's why we bring in the pros.
I try to add a little bit of flavor, a little color here and there.
So as I just saw the Pacheco holding penalty about 3 seconds ago, what was
good job.
Or it is a couple minutes, but what was the most deflating penalty for you on the defensive side? Was it a hold? Was it just a illegal hands to the face? What kind of you said, man, not again?
One of the most deflating calls that, man, that's a lot of well, all right, I will say this: the most deflating call that you can get on defense is roughing the kicker.
There we go. Big Kelsey gain. He looks like he's on the 5.
That's a deflating call, right? Because that's essentially, your defense going against punt return, but it's defense. That's the most deflating call, especially when someone else from the offense is engaged with you and they kind of push you into the punter and to get a 5-yard penalty. And sometimes they call a little bit more, but that's, in my opinion, one of the most deflating things, is because a lot of it's out of your control. It's intended to slow you down. It's intended to prevent you from making a best effort, because so many people will be deflated if you actually try to go after it and miss and actually hit the kicker.
Yeah, which happened today. I think I wouldn't call it a turning point of the game because the Niners were already kind of going down that path, but 21-7, Jordan Mason roughing the kicker, and then Jalen Hurts ended up going another 50 yards, making it 28-7. That put the game out of reach. That was the game right there.
Right. And a lot of people think, there's all these other plays on the actual defense. No, that's why special teams matter so much, is because they are an extension of the defense in a lot of different ways. Let's see, who said this? Who's Titans Time podcast?
Yeah.
Expected more scoring early on. I thought the defense would tighten up later in the game. Look, Titans. I told you, the game doesn't start until the fourth quarter. It's like you have to think about football like a boxing match or like a Muay Thai fight. You have to think about how people are trying to size each other up, right? A lot of it is scripted. A lot of it's rehearsed. And then as the game starts to get looser and looser, you start to see little wrinkles. You start to see little parts where there might be some soft spots in the game where you can now make your play. That's the strategy of it all. That's the chess game that we're playing. That's all those variables. That's all those variables that add up to your bets. You like that? You like how I did that? You like?
Yeah.
That's it. You'd be perfect at the BetMGM team.
Yeah, you like those variables.
But yeah, I kind of predicted that defense was going to ultimately be the story here. I feel like, and this is a credit to your position especially, but in the playoffs, obviously defense wins championships, but I feel like this is when games get tight, and we know that this matchup is always decided by 3 points or less. And I feel like, that Kansas City front and then that Bengals secondary is going to be the deciding factor here.
Yeah, I'm looking for the first team to get a good pick. I mean, you want to talk about something that's deflating to the offense is when the defense comes up with not only one pick but 2 picks. I mean, that just it doesn't give people enough time to recover. Number one, you have to think about how much time people are on the field. But number two, just an ego blast in terms of just like this destroys you. It just makes you feel like you can't do anything. So I'm really looking for the first interception, really.
Okay, start of the second quarter. Here we go. What about playing in the cold? Like, do you feel like that? I mean, the ball gets harder for kickers. I know they say the football really changes in the cold like that. And it's, again, I live in Kansas City. It's very cold tonight.
Have you seen some of the people on the sideline carrying the footballs? Have you seen them?
Oh, how they're protected and keeping warm?
They're protected. They're like, they might as well be, they might as well just be babies. All
Bucker's kick is good.
Covered up, in like a poncho or a blanket. They might as well have like a baby warmer on the side. Those footballs are not cold. Yes, they might have a little bit of a less temperature than usual. Sure, okay, it's 90 degrees outside. Here, I don't know, was it 20 degrees or something like that? Yes, maybe there's a little bit of a difference in the temperature. Yes, cold versus hot and the air expanding or not. I get it. I understand. But, people are used to that. Especially kickers that have always kicked in the cold. They modify the way that they kick for the temperature of the game, right? That's how dialed in they are. Mm-hmm. They know probably based upon degree of temperature what's the best way and what's the best distance that they can be the most successful at, right? Those are all these variables that go into who's going to make what kick or whatnot. But as a defensive player, I love the cold because if I come out there and I feel good and I look at you and I see that you're shivering, it's going to be a long day for you.
Oh,
advantage you right there.
Advantage me. That means I'm not going to have any sleeves on. I mean, look, it's 75 degrees inside my house right now, and I got a hat on. So you guys are like, what are you talking about? You're the one wearing a warm hat indoors.
Okay, Dhani, go ahead.
But when I played, I didn't wear any sleeves. I wore gloves, but I was fine. I love playing in the cold weather because you could really test people.
Yeah. When players come out with no sleeves on, you're in for a long day. Immediately who the tougher players are. Before we let you go, we don't want to take up too much of your Sunday night here, but now that what you've seen, we've just seen 2 field goals from Kansas City. What are you predicting now that you've seen 1 quarter of action?
I think it's I think it's going to be back and forth till about the end of the third quarter. And then at the beginning of the fourth quarter, that's when I expect to think, I think it's going to be back and forth until the end of the third quarter. And then I'd say at the beginning of the fourth quarter, the game will start opening up. But I'm still banking on my Bengals. I think Kansas City is going to give it all they got. Bengals, I think they're still holding back. And I think the team that's going to make the biggest and best corrections during halftime, which I believe is going to be the Bengals, is going to win the game.
Okay.
Wise man once told me the game doesn't start till the fourth quarter, so we got plenty of ball left.
The game does not start till the fourth quarter, my friend.
Oh, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun and really good insight, really good breakdown of the game.
Thanks, Pete and Olivia. Appreciate it. I'll talk to y'all later.
Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Have a good night.
All right. And here we go. Another kickoff. What do you think, Pete? What are you thinking now that we've seen a quarter play?
Bengals plus 6.5. So the spread's obviously moved because of those 2 field goals. I like that right now. So if anybody looking for a live bet, I think plus 6.5 is probably a good play. There's not been a touchdown in the game. I wouldn't call it a little bit sloppy, but a little bit inconsistent. But I don't think anybody's done anything yet that proves they're the superior team to start. Although the front 4, front 7 of Chiefs look pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to look at live betting odds. So, Pete, you walk us through what you're seeing right now at BetMGM as the Bengals get the ball back. We're going to take a quick break. Everyone hang with and leave comments, and we'll start answering some more questions when we get back as well.
You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody. Oh. Game starts at 20. Bet slip is empty. I got to call KG. KG, what up?
I got nothing for you, Fox.
Oh, come on. What you got, huh?
And it's spa day, Jamie. You don't interrupt spa day.
Okay. Gracie, what's up? I need some tips.
Jamie, you want a tip?
Yeah. No. Come on, somebody. Jalen, what's up, man? You want a tip? Yeah. You really want a tip? I really need some tips.
Don't call somebody on live TV, Jamie Foxx.
Well,
Like
you
I was
answer.
saying, they wasn't
Have
about
other
to-
friends anyway. Marshawn, Barry, holla.
Jamie Foxx. Hey, what's up with it, Fox?
Listen, I need some tips.
I like L.A.
LA?
No, Dallas. That's not
Dallas?
Dallas not
Dallas?
too bad. We gotta get to Miami. How about Detroit? Tom Harry over there betting
You
with
know
his
what? I'll
heart.
call y'all right back. Vanessa, I need your help.
I got a tip for you. Always go with your gut.
I like that. Going with my gut. Let's go with our gut.
Have you ever wanted to know what it's like to get into the mind of an NFL quarterback? To see the field the way that they see it? Well, I'm about to dive into the mind of Denver Broncos former QB, Jake the Snake Plummer. This Pro Bowler is going to show me how it's done, and I'm going to see if I can do it too. This is Bet She Can. I've got to ask you, when it comes to being a quarterback in the NFL, what is the mindset going on the field, being able to see the entire field?
Well, you have to just trust in the muscle memory and the work that you put in, not only the week before, but all the weeks before in the off season and in the film room. I couldn't imagine to try to explain. There's 11 guys out there, 5 of them are coming after you, 6 of them are running around. You just have to have trust in your teammates, and depth perception is really key.
Okay, depth perception.
Yeah.
Depth perception is really important in softball as well, as far, especially the outfield, being able to read the balls you want to read. So for you, when you're on the field, being able to see the whole field, having that trust, what is the most important thing that you do to work off the field to bring it on the field?
Yeah, it's just repetitions, throwing a lot of balls to understand, what each route depth is, where the guys are supposed to be, and then there's that trust with the receivers. You have to build camaraderie, build that connection. Sometimes you have it immediately. Other times it takes a little bit of work to understand a guy's speed out of the break, or this guy's quick out of the break, or this guy's always short on his route. You got to just keep working through those little differences, and really practice makes perfect when it comes to finding that and trusting that depth that they're going to be at, because they got to get there too. Part of it is them getting there, and then me delivering the ball on time to that exact spot.
This has been Bet She Can on BetMGM, and one thing's for sure, if you bet on me, you won't lose, baby. Thanks, Jake.
All right, we're back. We are back. Cincinnati still driving. Looks like 2nd and 14. A drop catch right there. Okay, Peter Andreu, before the game, we said that we were going to put in our bets early. No rules. We didn't even say if you had to do props or game totals or anything.
Yep.
So here we're running them at the bottom. And I believe this is yours because you did a parlay. So walk us through that.
Yep. So my first bet, again, this was early in the week when we were recording the podcast here, but Bengals minus 1.5. So there's potentially some opportunity here. Good value with the Bengals right now, and obviously there's an opportunity to kind of hedge myself. But my 1-game parlay. So for those of you who don't know what a 1-game parlay is, you'll be able to mix and match any different prop bets, 6-pack markets, all in one bet on one specific game. I picked Bengals minus 1.5 T. Higgins and Kelsey to both anytime score touchdown, and Mahomes under 329.5. Mahomes' current over-under is 301. So in terms of flow of the game, I think I'm looking pretty good on that one, but going to need some touchdowns here.
Love it. Wait, how good was Dhani on here?
Wow, so good.
Yeah, we got to get him on the podcast.
We always anybody that comes on and has a good sense of humor, I think always meshes really well with us, especially
funny.
you and Jerry. Yeah.
He's very funny. Okay, 1st and 10. Burrow throws it away. Kind of grounded it.
So obviously markets are going to fluctuate based off who's on the field. We've got Jamar Chase plus 350 first touchdown score, Joe Mixon right behind it plus 450, and then you start to get into some Chiefs. So everybody thinks the two big guns are the target right here. We shall see. I'm seeing 2nd and 10. I don't know, Olivia, if you're a little bit ahead of me.
2nd and 10, yep. I got 10:51 on the clock.
Yep, same.
Okay.
So it's just Dhani.
How did we sync back
45s. Up? I don't know.
I don't know how that happened. I'd love to know in the comments. You can probably, because I know a lot of people stream on YouTube TV. That's what I'm watching on, which is funny. Then also streaming on YouTube. Technology is amazing. Wow, big catch. 283. Who's that? Tyler Boyd? Limping a bit. Oh, a hitch in his giddy up. That was big. My bets were going on at the bottom. Sorry, producer Dylan. There we go. Okay, so I had Bengals plus 2.5. Isaiah Pacheco over 49.5. God, where's he at there? And Mahomes over 2.5 pass touchdowns. I can't believe we're already in the second quarter. We've only had 2 field goals. So I don't know. I still feel kind of good that Mahomes is just going to start lighting it up.
Yeah, I think kind of to Dhani's point, it's been a controlled game. I think it'll open up. Wait for that first kind of real turnover, and maybe we see the field start open up a bit more.
Yeah, I'm loving these comments. Keep them coming. I'm a little confused. Like the snow globe play that we saw a couple weeks ago that Kansas City did was cute and whatever, and they were up big at the time, and it was wasn't it the last regular season game? Yep. So God, that feels like a long time ago because they had the bye and then the Jacksonville game. But I'm shocked that early in the game he did a cutesy play with the hook and ladder.
It just doesn't seem like Chiefs MO there. Like they're just so talented. They don't need to do it and probably can't afford to do those cutesy plays.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it. It was, if he wasn't on the sideline, it's a fumble. So
yeah.
I don't know. There's certain teams that get away with it, but if you have 7 weapons like the Chiefs have, it just never makes sense to me.
Right. That's why Travis Kelce went on a 6-game drought without scoring because everyone was doubling him up, and it didn't matter. Yep. Obviously, they kept winning. Okay, here we are, 3rd and 7. Burrow 2. Nope, no catch.
So assuming Chiefs go on and win this game, who gave you the biggest scare? Is it playing the Eagles, playing the Niners again 2 times in 3 years, whatever it's been? Which team did you kind of not want to see going into Arizona next week or in 2 weeks?
Oh, you're saying who I wouldn't want to see in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I'm also a Packer fan, and that's a whole nother story. But 49ers always just piss me off. Although I was cheering for them this year. Packers are irrelevant. Weren't even in the playoffs. But San Francisco's broken our hearts a bunch. So I don't know if that would just follow me. There you go. The kick is good. Bengals are on the board. So I don't know. Honestly, I was more worried about facing Cincinnati on our way to the Super Bowl. All season we kept saying, oh, the Bills, and but then now here we are, AFC Championship again, seeing the Bengals who ruined our season last year. And I've all week I've felt bad about this game. Like all my Kansas City Chiefs friends, they are like, oh, Mahomes will be fine. He's the GOAT, blah, blah. I'm like, Joe Cool's pretty good too. And they're clicking and they're rolling. They haven't lost since what, Halloween?
Yep.
I mean,
second longest streak.
Behind
the Niners
longest streak now. 7-0. Yeah. Yeah, Purdy was 7-0, and I don't even think you can give him this L. I know you have to, but he wasn't out there.
Yep. So if you dare to be a bit crazy, no touchdown in the game, plus 3,500 for anybody interested, thinking this is just going to be a field goal game.
No.
Just,
No way.
There's always one lunatic there that puts $100 on it and
Jordan
cashes
McMahon
in.
just said that.
Yep.
A game of field goals with these quarterbacks. No way.
No way.
No way.
If that happened,
when did Purdy get hurt? By the way, like I said, I was in the air
early in the game. I mean, he finished. I mean, at one point he was like 2 of 2 for 22 yards. So that shows kind of the progress of the game where he got hurt. Time wise, I don't know.
Yeah. By the way, at BetMGM, there's a $300,000 bet, and I can promise you it wasn't me, on the Bengals over 23.5 points, which was minus 120. That is now not looking so good.
Yeah.
No.
I looked at that bet early on, and I was like, this is a lock. And
yeah.
That's, again, the confidence bet never works out.
Isaiah Pacheco over 49.5 rushing yards was one of the most bet props. So I said that was one of mine. I'm not alone there. Patrick Mahomes under 285.5 passing yards was one of the most bet props. I still think over. What's Patrick at right now? Passing yards, he's at 104. So yeah, I like it.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, early in the second quarter. Samaje Perine over 16.5 receiving yards. And then still like Jamar Chase to score first touchdown plus 750. That's still alive. Travis Kelce score first touchdown. That's still alive. As the Chiefs will get the ball back here.
Perine doesn't have a catch yet, by the way. So anybody interested in that over, he is no receptions.
It only takes one. 16.5. That could be one beautiful catch.
You'll see my other bet kind of right there on the bottom of the screen. I like Hayden Hurst I guess he's their fifth option, but he's such a solid tight end. So over 33.5 is one that I really liked. But they got to get in motion. They got to get in some sort of rhythm here. He's got one catch, I think 6 yards. So we've got some work to do.
Okay. So, Pete, tell everyone what we're going to be doing out in Phoenix. And by everyone, I mean me. Tell me, what am I going to be doing out in Phoenix?
So I think we're golfing, right? We said me, you, and Jerry are going to be golfing. Okay. Golf Thursday morning, have a couple transfusions.
Okay.
But no, we're going to be doing our second annual live Super Bowl podcast, or big game podcast, as we call it. So it's going to be a fun time, be able to spend a couple days with the whole crew, the BetMGM crew. Obviously, you guys. So we're going to have a blast, and I'm sure we're going to have some other really fun content opportunities. And I'm going to tease a little thing that we got going on at BetMGM for the big game. We will have a $100,000 prop sheet. So the same way when you go to your friend's house, your family's house, you get all those props that you love to pick, whether it's the over on something or who's going to score the first touchdown. At BetMGM, in about a week's time, we'll have that live for everybody. Whoever guesses the most correct or a perfect prop sheet, $100,000 in your pocket. So not too bad. So stay tuned for that. Really, really exciting. And it's completely free to play. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to log in, put your picks in, and then hopefully cash in that $100,000.
That's great. I like it. Have you started thinking about any futures? When do futures go up for next season? Are they up?
So they'll go up right after the game on Super Bowl.
Okay.
It's going to be a couple of these teams that we obviously know they're going to be as good. Chiefs, Bengals, Eagles. I think Niners probably one of them. They've got some decisions to make though. So a little bit of quarterback controversy that's probably going to happen. Where does Aaron Rodgers go? Where does Tom Brady go if he doesn't retire? You're going to have your pick of the litter. If you have sensed something, take it before Rodgers pulls the trigger. I mean, Jets as an example. If you think someone big is going to go there, you're probably going to get great value right after the Super Bowl. Probably get something 30 to 40 to 1 versus when one of these big guys goes and it might be 15 to 1.
Jets. The goddamn Jets. Yeah, that one would hurt. If that's what you're about to ask, that would hurt.
That's exactly what I was about to ask.
It can't happen to us twice.
Is there a team? Yeah, right. Is there a team that it would hurt, like, not at all? Like, if he goes to the Denver Broncos, does it really matter to you?
Well, I would say going to the AFC would be, I think, a better move.
Yeah.
Like, that's why when Favre wanted to go to the Vikings, because he wanted it to be in the division, he wanted it to hurt. He just had to make a pit stop in New York. On our podcast the other week, we had Peter King. We had Peter King on the podcast a couple weeks, and that is such a good evergreen episode. If you've never listened to Unleashed, go back to the Peter King episode and you can listen to his stories. It doesn't really have to be timely. He just has amazing NFL stories. He wrote Monday Morning Quarterback and, for years, he's such an accomplished sports writer. But one of his stories he told was sitting in Brett Favre's Mississippi house as he was trying to decide what to do. And Peter King, the NFL writer, was being like the conduit in between the Green Bay front office, which included my grandfather at the time, and Brett, and the drama that ensued. And that Peter said himself, and I was surprised he admitted this. He said, I told him, if you really want to hurt them, you want to go to Minnesota, but you got to go somewhere first. They're never going to do it.
Yep.
And go to New York. And he called the New York GM, I think, the Jets GM at the time, and said, here's how you're going to win Brett. Tell him how far it'd take for him to get in his truck to drive to the nearest deer stand from, I'm not making this up, from where he lives and where he would have to live. And that's what happened. How freaking weird is that story?
People don't realize how woodsy New Jersey is, I suppose. So
I guess
it
so.
worked out. That's crazy.
So 3rd and 1, Mahomes is gobbled up. Wow.
So do you feel spoiled, kind of like your whole life essentially seeing Favre directly to Rodgers, like flawless quarterback or somewhat flawless quarterback play?
Yeah. I do.
Wouldn't know anything about it since Steve Young's been gone for 25 years.
Yeah, no, and we kind of laugh is like, so I have an 8-month-old baby. So this was his first football season on earth. And the Packers didn't make the playoffs, and Aaron Rodgers was probably leaving. That makes me really sad because he's going to grow up a Packer fan. My husband's from Wisconsin and is a diehard Packer fan. And then I obviously am as well. Like I said, I have 2 teams. I double dip. But my blood is Packer blood, and my heart is in Green Bay. And this poor kid, he might not see a Packer winning season for a while. I really hope that's not the case. Or making the playoffs. I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Bob Matthews' podcast, I shot the video of him getting drafted by Atlanta. You must be talking about Favre. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Do you
Jeffrey Morgan, your baby is bad luck?
How do you feel about Jordan? Is Jordan Love kind of the short-term answer, or is it? I mean, he came in probably halfway through the year and looked amazing. Granted, it was a weird situation, a blowout game, but like, do you look at him and say, yeah, we can claw back in a maybe somewhat of a winnable division? Let's see what the Vikings do, but the Bears are awful. Do you have some sort of hope?
I guess I have some sort of hope. Like I just saw today, there's an ESPN article that said, and I know how this kind of journalism works, is you have to really tiptoe around your sources. And the article said they're hearing the Packers are open to the idea of trading him. Chiefs touchdown, Travis Kelce, first touchdown scorer.
There you go.
Neither one of us had it, right? That wasn't in your parlay, was it?
I have it in anytime touchdown Kelce.
There you go.
This is good for me.
Okay. Update us again on your parlay now that one's hit.
So we've got that done. We need a T. Higgins touchdown.
Okay.
We need Mahomes under 329. So that was an alternate line I picked. And then the tough one's going to be Cincinnati -1.5 there.
Okay.
So we're going to need a bit of a comeback here.
All right.
And we're gonna scroll through the comments here, pick a couple of Kelce's from early on, and then we'll find a way to give you guys a couple free bets here. So I'll probably have you guys DM me. But yeah, a couple bucks for the crew. Thank you guys for watching with us. So
I know
least we can do here.
A lot of fun. It's our first time doing this, and twist our arm, have us watch a game together. Peter Andreu has been on our podcast now for 2 years. And before we ever met in person, I guess you could call yourself, work husband and wife. You're my work husband. Yeah. But the problem is my real husband really, really likes you too. So I knew once we all got together in London, of all places, was the first time we all hung out. And with your new bride, Steph, very exciting to meet her as well. And the four of us hit it off. So I was excited to be able to watch this game with you and have some fun on YouTube streaming. I mean, this is new for us.
It was kind of a match made in heaven for all four of us when you were like, "Oh, I love wine," and then Sam loves bourbon and loves whiskey. I was like, "Okay, so you just pretty much named me and Steph to a T." And then we jokingly took the over on drinks on New Year's Eve at the restaurant we were at, and I think you and I clearly hit the overs. So we're a good crew, and I think Sam and you even invited us up to Sheboygan for the summertime. So we're going to take you up on that at some point.
Golf alone, it's some of the best golf in the country. Yeah. Black Wolf Run, Whistling Straits, obviously, which hosted the Ryder Cup. Yeah, so we live in the summer in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, which is where my husband's from. Comment if anyone's been to that part of the state, Northeast Wisconsin, which is so beautiful on Lake Michigan. While we're in commercial break, we can talk about this nonsense, but the golf there is phenomenal, and Peter Andreu's a big golfer.
Not a good golfer, but a big golfer.
Oh, no, this is very fun. Okay, talk to us about live bets. What is available as the game goes on?
Yeah, so especially as we get into the playoffs, we have a wide variety of things right now. So if I go through just the BetMGM website, you can get everything from what we call the six-pack market. So that's typically the spreads, the money line, and then totals, which is the over-under. You can get team totals. You can do alternate spread on the totals. So right now it's at 43.5. If you don't love that number and you want to take 41.5, we have that available for you. So you can kind of pick and choose what you want. And obviously the odds change slightly if you're getting a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more conservative. You can do the same thing with spreads. You can take some cool live parlays that we have built for you. So right now we have something live, Burrow to record 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. So if you feel like that second half is going to be kind of opposite of this, you're going to get really good odds. You're going to get 3-1. And then you're going to get your normal stuff, the next touchdown score or the last touchdown score, player props on passing yards, receiving yards. I'd say at any given point, we probably have over 100 different markets on BetMGM ready. And as we get into the Super Bowl, even in 2 weeks, we're going to have even more, whether it's, where it's allowed, things like the Gatorade color, the coin toss, everything that's not subjective. So we won't have things like the national anthem, but if there's a definitive answer, we're going to have it for you guys.
Oh, I love it.
And that's what you'll see in the prop sheet. So those 15 questions that everybody can fill out will have all different unique things like that, which is really fun. And it's a good way to kind of bring in the real money betting now, but also with the experience that you had over 20, 30 years of always doing those prop sheets with your family and friends. So trying to kind of connect the dots together.
Oh, I like that. Okay, Bengals are driving.
So
here we go. I feel like there's going to be some adjustment here. I feel like this is where we're going to get a Bengals touchdown.
So is there one lunatic in the Harlan family when watching football games? Is it dad? Is it mom? Is it you?
You know how some people watch football games very seriously and like kind of to themselves? That's my husband watching the Packers. Like, he's not a fun hang to go like watch a Packer game with. You know what I mean? He like lives and breathes with every play. So that's how Sam watches the game. My dad is, we rarely get to watch a game with him since he works CBS Sunday football, and then he does Monday Night Football on the national radio broadcast. But every once in a while, like last weekend, after my dad and I worked the Jacksonville, Kansas City game together, we got to watch the Dallas game after on Sunday. So we got to have fun watching Sunday football. And it's funny because he can't help himself. He does a little bit of play-by-play. He'll be like, oh, what a catch. And I just can't believe that. Interception! Chiefs interception.
So we got good timing right here. We got our next guest joining us. We got
Love
ECU Pirate legend, Tennessee Titan legend, BetMGM ambassador legend, Chris Johnson.
What's
CJ2K,
up?
how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I've been better. I'm a Niners fan, so I had a rough couple hours those last 3 to 6 p.m., so I'm hurting.
Yeah, I was just arguing with somebody, and I'm like, man, I understand that you're happy that your Eagles are going, but y'all was playing against a handicapped team. Like, they didn't have a quarterback. They literally ran the ball every play.
So if that was you in that situation right there, if you're Christian McCaffrey, I mean, how frustrating is that game knowing that your quarterback can't throw and your fourth string's out with a concussion?
It's very frustrating because you got to think, we're playing, it's 8, 9 in the box. Every play, they know we run it. It's basically 11 guys in the box. They know we were running it every single play. It was a different story. Like, if you got a third, even a fourth-string quarterback in there, like, it gives the defense, like, okay, they might throw it long this time. But this, we know his arm is hurt, well, his elbow. We know his elbow is hurt. We know for a fact they're going to run the ball every play. Only thing else they can do is a reverse to Deebo Samuels or something like that, but they're going to run it every single play. So you got 11 guys coming at your head every single play. So it's definitely be frustrating.
I know it's early. We're only in the second quarter, but who do you feel like would pose a bigger threat to Philadelphia in the Super Bowl?
Oh, man. You can never bet against Kansas City. You can never bet against them. But I honestly feel the winner, and I don't know, I can't really call them underdogs because they're a pretty good team, which is Cincinnati. But I really feel whichever team win this game will win the Super Bowl.
Wow. Why? Were you not impressed with what you saw in Philadelphia?
No, they played against somebody that didn't have a quarterback. So I can't really go off that game. They didn't have a quarterback. Like, who can't, like, I feel like any team that would have played against 49ers would have won because they didn't have no quarterback. They ran the ball literally every play. So so the win today don't impress me. It don't impress me.
I wasn't upset at the Niners play at all for that game. I mean, to your point, what the hell can you do when you just have to run the ball and there's 10 in the box?
Yeah, you can't be upset with them. There's nothing else we can do. You can't
throw
the
ball. Is there a point that you're going in the huddle and saying, let me just get behind center and let me throw the ball? It's kind of probably what McCaffrey was doing too.
No, just give me the ball. I'm going to make something happen, man. I'm going to make something happen.
Chris, do you still live in Tennessee?
No, I actually live in Florida. I live in Orlando.
Because you're smart. You moved south.
Yeah, well, I'm from here, born and raised. I just moved back home.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes. Yeah, the cold kills me every time. I can't put up with the cold.
Okay, so I was asking Dhani Jones that earlier in the broadcast because, I mean, it's 22 degrees, I think, right now in Kansas City. And I asked, which position does that affect the most? Because I kind of thought it affected kickers the most when you have, like, a harder football.
22, the position that I think it affects the most, I would say receivers.
Yeah.
Because
catching rocks.
It's nasty outside. The ball is wet. It's hard. Actually, now you have to run these routes. You got to run these routes on this nasty field and stuff. So I would think it will affect receivers and actually cornerbacks even more than receivers because at least when you play receiver, you know I got this route. I know when I'm going to stop and cut and break. At defensive back, you don't know when they're going to break or when they're going to do what. So it's just like right there. So you can't really know when you're breaking. So I would think if the most position, I would say cornerback.
That's a good answer.
So we got a new pedigree of running backs in the league now. So obviously Derrick Henry's been a problem for a couple of years. Who's kind of that next guy that's taken that next evolution in terms of kind of that top tier, number 1, number 2 style running back?
I would have to go with Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is the guy, like, some people might say Jacobs, but this is his first year really like having that type of year. So I need to see more consistency. And that's why I say Nick Chubb, because year in, year out, he's going to give you those yards. He's gonna hard nose, and I just think in the last couple of years he's been putting up numbers, and he's been the most consistent outside of Derrick Henry. Nick Chubb been the most consistent, so that's why I got to go with Nick Chubb.
So if you were starting a team tomorrow, are you looking for the guy who's the dual threat? Breece Hall can catch it out of the backfield and run, or are you looking for the guy that's going to run 25, 30 times a game for 125 yards, but maybe not catch a ton of passes?
Yeah, not catch it. I'm looking for a CJ2K who gonna get in there. Who like you might go in the game and like, yeah, you need 25, 30 touches. We can do that, or you need 20 carries, 10 receptions. Like we could do it all. So I definitely look for a guy that can be all around, that can stay on the field all 3 downs, that I don't have to take off the field and put a third down running back in when they know when he come in the ball, he's going to run a route. So I would definitely look for an all-around guy that can play all 3 downs.
So
go ahead.
2009 Offensive Player of the Year, I think it was over 2,500 total yards from scrimmage, broke the record. At what point in the season did you say, I'm going to be that guy? Did you know after a couple of games, or was it going in towards the latter half?
Well, before the season started, I said I wanted to rush 2,000 yards. I always set my goals high or whatever, but I think around week 12 or week 11, I knew I really had a good chance at doing it as far as getting 2,000 yards. But the 2,500 yards, to be real with you, I didn't even know that I broke that record until the next day. I was doing a press conference, and they asked me about Marshall Faulk record. They said, yeah, you had 2509. Like, I didn't even know I had 2509. I didn't even know that. Yeah, I only cared about the 2,000 yard. Breaking 2,000 yards, and then all the other stuff that came with it, the 2,500, 2509, breaking Marshall Faulk record, all that stuff. I found that out the next day in a press conference when they was interviewing me. So,
do you remember what you said?
Yeah, I was just in disbelief. Like, I'm like, what? Are you serious? Like, wow. Like, and then like, yeah, it was just crazy because the crazy thing about that situation is everybody always talk about the 2,000 yards, right? And this right now to date is 8 guys that have ran for 2,000 yards, and that's awesome. Like 8 guys, and however long the league's been, NFL been in history, but it's only 1 guy to ever have 2,500 yards. I'm the only guy to ever have 2,500 yards. So a lot of people talk about 2,000 yards a lot, but I don't think they understand the whole 2,500, especially how in today's game, the backs, how they want their backs, the total yards. They look at total yards. They don't necessarily just look at rushing yards anymore when it comes to the running backs. They look at the total yards. So when you look at the total yards and you see that it's only 1 guy to ever have 2,500 yards, it just show you how amazing that was.
Well, I think that answers John Pettit's question. Is your 2,000-yard season more impressive than Derrick Henry's? But obviously, because you mentioned the 2,500, but you've got to have a good time watching Derrick Henry, especially as a Titan.
Yes, I have a great time watching Derrick, man. That's why I feel like Derrick, he's the number 1 running back in the league right now. And that just goes solely off of he got a 2,000-yard rushing season. And he's been if you make a list of the back, Christian McCaffrey, Derek Cook, all the top backs, Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry is the only back that's been consistent. Like within the last 4 years, he's been the most consistent back. So when I rate my backs, I go with consistency. So when you look at the last 4 years, he's probably the only back that's been that consistent.
And it's saying something considering he came off a pretty bad injury then last year, and then just like nothing happened this season.
Yeah, but he had an injury last year and he still had 1,000 yards. Or close to 1,000, something like that. Like, in like 8 or 9 games. So yeah, man, people thought he was finna hit 2,000 yards again that season, but he ended up getting hurt. So it just show you how impressive it is.
Chiefs defense almost just got another pick, but then it was pass interference. What do you think? This Chiefs defense, they actually haven't been getting that much love on the back end. I said earlier in the show, their pass defense has not been good. They've allowed the most pass touchdowns in the NFL in the regular season. But what do you make when you see the Chiefs defense? Like, what would they be like to go against, especially up front?
Definitely tough. Anytime you got guys that front seven, if that front seven brutal, they get after the quarterback, and making tackles in the backfield, it's always going to be brutal. But a lot of times when you got a guy like Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, and 9 times out of 10, you're playing like y'all in front, y'all playing with the lead. It's much easier to play defense when y'all leading in the game rather than when y'all losing and y'all got to step up and make a play and make a clutch play, get your offensive guys the ball back. It's much harder playing defense that way. So having that guy, and I can't even lie, they've been stepping up front. So anytime when I remember I had a coach when I was with Tennessee, Jim Washburn. He used to teach our guys, our DNs and stuff. When we're playing ahead, hey, you just let it loose and you go get the quarterback. So when you playing with the lead, all those guys pin your hair back, go get the quarterback. Go. We don't have to worry about them running the ball. We know they need to throw the ball because they're losing. Just go and get you a sack. Go get the quarterback.
Burrow completion to T. Higgins. What's it like playing in Arrowhead? You've had a lot of games there. Does one stick out to you?
Yeah, when I played the Broncos.
Yeah.
I think, I played there one time. Yeah, that's my rookie year, smash and dash. I think Lindell had like 140 yards. I think I finished with like 160 yards. He had an 80-yard touchdown. I had like a 70-yard touchdown. I played the Broncos. But I can't even lie. One thing about that stadium, it gets loud and it's hard to win at Arrowhead, especially when it's cold.
Oh my gosh. And it is tonight. I live in Kansas City. I'm a Chiefs fan. Wow. I'm about 20 miles from the stadium. I bet if I popped my head outside my door, I'd hear them because that cold air is going to let that sound travel too. But it is just known to be an intimidating place to play. Is it the most intimidating place that you played, or are there stadiums that are a bit scarier?
I would say it's 3 places that is Kansas City, Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Chicago Bears.
What?
Chicago.
Why?
Chicago is cold. That's probably one of the coldest cities I played in, and Chicago Bears fans are brutal.
I was kind of expecting to hear.
Me.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting to hear Seattle there, but the sound didn't scare you.
No, not really. Seattle is cool, but it wasn't as timid as those others.
Huh.
So does that mean the Bears have what you think are the craziest fans, or were there another team that you had a bad situation?
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has the craziest fans to my knowledge.
Any stories stick out to you?
When we was in Pittsburgh, we was playing in Pittsburgh, and I remember I flew my mom and my dad up to the game or whatever. And my dad, he was just telling me a story. He almost got in a fight with one of the fans and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
It's basically what happened today. Joey Bosa almost got into a brawl with a fan outside of the link.
Oh, wow. It's crazy.
Did you see the video, Chris?
No, I didn't see the video.
Okay. It's trending on Twitter. Basically, a fan says, "Hey, Joey, how are those fines?" And he says, "They're good. I'm rich."
Wow.
It was kind of badass. I loved it.
I got to see that.
And it's a Philly fan. And he goes, "I'm rich too." And he goes, "No, you're broke."
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got to see that one.
Yeah.
Those fans get crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a hostile place to go play. I was going to ask what you think of trick plays at this point in the season. Like we were just talking the Chiefs last regular season game, they did the ring around the rosy snow globe thing. What do you think about that now in the playoffs? Do you like seeing that, or do you think just like stick to the basics?
Nah, you have to do that. When you see a team doing that means we're doing anything we need to do to win.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna do that's what we love to see, that especially offensive players like we getting tired of just lining up on the ball and just going straight ahead at the defense. Like they see what's coming, they know what's coming. Like let's do some trick plays, keep them on their heels. Like we love that, and we love for our offense coordinator to call that, our head coach. When we see they calling that, they know like, listen, we're doing anything and everything it takes to win right now.
Oh, I like that answer. Dennis Bennett just asked here, Chris, you were known for your speed. Was there anyone that you thought could get you with a slight angle?
No, nobody. Nobody.
I love it.
This is a good one too. So Peter Kennedy asked, best running back in Madden all time to play with that's not named Chris Johnson.
Best running back. I'm not gonna lie. Dang. I have to say Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I got to say Barry Sanders. If not Barry Sanders, if they want to go new age, like when PlayStation became popular and stuff like that, I have to go LT or Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
That was a good BetMGM answer right there. Fellow ambassador Barry
that's
Sanders
our guy.
With the number one spot right there.
LT? Okay.
No, Barry.
Oh, Barry.
Barry.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
Barry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely got to go Barry.
Uncle Barry. He told me I was pregnant last time I saw him. He says, tell that baby I'm Uncle Barry. I said, I like that.
Yeah. Uncle Barry, man. Uncle
yeah.
Barry.
What is that fraternity of running backs like? Because, I mean, everyone knows the shelf life of a running back is shorter than other positions because you guys have such trauma to your bodies with just the nature of the position, all that. But then just the fraternity of sticking together. Like, what's that like?
Man, it's lovely, man. Anytime we see each other or anything, you just always love. Like I see Terrell Davis all the time at these signings and stuff, and man, it's just always love. So like I grew up watching those guys, LT, Barry, all those. Barry is my favorite running back ever. So it's like, yeah, it's crazy. Like, and it's like the crazy thing about it.
Woo.
When I knew me and Barry was both like part of BetMGM, I was like, man, it'll be so amazing. Like if me and Barry was able to do a commercial or something like that together, just crazy thoughts or something like that. Cause that's Barry is like my favorite ever running back ever.
Wow.
Well, my boss is the guy who does all of our TV commercials. So let me have a conversation with him tomorrow and I'll hit you up.
Right. For sure. That'd be dope. That'd be dope.
Oh, that is awesome.
2,000 yard guys.
Yeah.
And that's my idol, man. I used to watch so much film and highlights of Barry before I got in the league, even when I got in the league. Like, man, it's crazy.
Oh, man. Hey, there's 8 seconds left on the clock. Cincinnati, 2nd and goal. Ball on the Kansas City 5. This is going to be a big play. 2nd and goal. They're about to snap it. If Cincinnati can score before halftime, that's going to be huge.
That'd be dope.
Burrow, incomplete. What do you like when you watch Joe Burrow?
He's just so calm.
Yeah.
Joe is like, man, old man, cool man, Joe, man. He's just so calm, chill, and relax. And anytime you can get a player like that don't panic and just be calm, then you got you a great quarterback. You got you a great player.
Okay. Big Kansas City stop. McPherson gets the field goal. Boy, this is not the game we thought. Just one touchdown, the Travis Kelce touchdown. Well, Chris, we really appreciate you joining us here because you know the AFC so well, obviously, from all those years playing in it. And now that it is 13-6 at halftime, just first impression, just right before we let you go, who would you take to win this game right now?
I'm going Cincinnati, man. I'm going Cincinnati just because like I say, I like their offense. I love their quarterback and their receiving core. I think they're the underdogs. I don't want to sound like a hater and say Kansas City always win, but I know sometimes people want to see new people in the Super Bowl. So let's see how it goes.
We just saw the Bengals in the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but KC is always winning.
Yeah, they're royalty. I gotcha. Thank you for your time, Chris. This was really fun. This is awesome.
Thank y'all so much. Any other time y'all ever need me, I'll always come on. Just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
Your
it,
BetMGM
Chris.
family.
Thank you.
All right, bud. Thank you. Okay, and for everyone else who's been joining us for the first half, we're going to take our little halftime. We really appreciate the comments. Keep them coming. We're going to continue answering. We have more guests coming too. So we're just getting started. Thanks, everyone, for joining. We will see you in the third quarter in Kansas City.
That ball is out of here. The first run ever with 4 home runs in a game. And a high fly ball. Division championship to the Cincinnati Reds.
Tim, who is the best soccer player of all time?
Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo. The numbers just say that he's the best. And, you talk about Pele, Maradona, Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo. It's hard to split them, but he's the best.
Who is the best keeper currently playing?
Until someone tells me otherwise, Manuel Neuer from Germany. I know he's getting a bit older, but, man, what a goalkeeper.
Who's going to win the World Cup this year?
Argentina's going to win the World Cup this year. There's a couple of teams out there that I just think might have a chance, but people really like Brazil. I don't like this Brazil team, but we talked about the best player of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Yeah, Messi is certainly part of that conversation easily, and be amazing to see him win a World Cup.
Who's the best non-soccer athlete ever?
It's not even a question. Michael Jordan. Not even a debate.
What sport would you have played if you didn't play soccer?
Basketball was my first love. I was a forward. I played high school basketball. I was going to go into college, but forward.
What's the best advice a coach ever gave you?
To whom much is given, much is required.
What's the last movie you saw?
I rewatched Shawshank Redemption for the 800th time. It's top 3 of all time. Easy.
Do you have any pregame rituals?
I had a lot of pregame rituals. Most importantly, like pregame meal was always the same. The way I drove to the stadium was the same, and I was always a right over left kind of guy. So I was my right shoe on, my right glove, and all that stuff.
Do you have any hidden talents?
I've given a few tattoos. Most memorable tattoo I gave was after the 2014 World Cup. I got a tattoo to commemorate the time, and my tattoo artist said, "You want to tattoo me as well?" I said, "Okay, sure." And this really cool image of myself, and he wanted me to tattoo it on him. So I tattooed this outline of me, and I think it probably looks like a blob, and I don't think it even looks like me, but it's supposed to be that.
What movie have you seen the most?
I think it'd be a toss-up between Wedding Crashers and Reservoir Dogs.
What was your favorite meme of yourself?
Probably the Titanic one. Yeah, there were some good ones, but I like the Titanic one.
You have to live.
I'm sorry, Tex.
You don't have to be sorry. You never ran from anything in your life, and you're not gonna start now. You gotta fight it. Wait a minute. Oh, snap. Dallas just covered the spread. We got the money, baby.
Jamie.
Bang.
Jamie, could you just... Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Hold off!
Okay. Where was I?
Oh, I was dying.
Dying. Let's go.
Sorry.
go to everybody. Oh. Game starts at 20, bet slip is empty. I got to call KG.
KG, what up? I got nothing for you, Fox.
Oh, come on. What you got, huh?
It is spa day, Jamie. You don't interrupt spa day.
Okay. Gracie, what's up?
I need some tips.
Jamie, you want a tip? Yeah.
No.
Come on, somebody. Jalen, what's up, man?
You want a tip?
Yeah. You really want a tip? I really need some tips.
Don't call somebody on live TV, Jamie Foxx.
Well, you answered. Have other friends anyway. Marshawn, Barry, holla.
Jamie Foxx. What's up with it, Fox?
Listen, I need some tips.
I'm like LA.
LA?
No. Dallas. That's not
Dallas.
Dallas not
Dallas?
bad. We gotta get to Miami. How about Detroit? Nah, Harry over there betting with his
I'll
heart.
call y'all right back. Vanessa, I need your help.
I got a tip for you. Always go with your gut.
I like that. Going with my gut. Let's go with our gut.
All right, we're back. Not the game I think everybody was expecting here, at least for the start of the first half. 13-6 Chiefs, low scoring, 1 touchdown. But do you all think it's going to be the same in the second half? I think things are going to open up. I think Olivia and I are both in kind of that same boat. I think score opens up. I think we're going to start to see them spread the ball around. Obviously, playing from behind, Burrow's going to have to get a little bit more aggressive. So yeah, it should be an entertaining second half, certainly more than the first half. Right now, in terms of markets, you got Bengals plus 250 on the money line. A lot of value right there. Plus 6.5 on the spread. And the total over 43.5. So probably five or so points shy of where the game opened up at. But I think we're in for a good second half here. Anytime touchdown scores, next touchdown scores, everything is live on the BetMGM app and website right now. Shortest odds. So Joe Mixon, anytime touchdown, plus 200. Jamar Chase, Pacheco, Jerick McKinnon, all within that 200 to 300 range. So there is a lot that is going to happen and can still happen. What do you guys think, though? What's your best bet of the second half? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it a little bit. And yeah, Dennis, I agree with you. Urgency will cause the Bengals to pick up the pace and the Chiefs to try to keep up the lead. I think it's exactly what you're going to see. You're going to have that kind of leave it all on the floor or leave it all on the table kind of mentality here in the second half. Cannot afford to just be complacent. But with that said, you don't need to get crazy. It's a one-ish possession game. So you do not need to push the pace as much as someone else might down a couple touchdowns here. Bobby Mixon anytime touchdown. I like that. I think they're going to start spreading the ball around a little bit, but I think as you start into the red zone, give it to your back, give it to your workhorse. So, yeah, Mixon I think is a play, and I actually might take that with y'all on my app. I'd be interested to see what people think. You got two guys in Rodgers and Brady. We talked about it a couple minutes ago that could retire, could stay with their same team. I think you got a lot of question marks with what the Bucs do in terms of their offensive coordinator. Where do you see Brady? Where do you see Rodgers next year? Do you see it to a team like the Jets? Do you see them sticking around? I think you got guys that probably aren't the happiest in their current situation, whether it's Brady with everything he has going on, whether it's just Rodgers with the state of the team, obviously losing Devontae. What do you guys think next year? Where are these big boys going? Is it for them? Is it time to really pass the torch on, or do we actually see these guys go somewhere else and give it one more good run?
In the end zone. I think you're on to something, Bobby Howard.
Liv, I think we only caught the last 5 seconds of that comment there, but
oh, it was a doozy. It was a good one. Very insightful.
Always is.
Pete, how are you feeling? What's your temperature on who's winning this game?
I'm kind of with CJ. I still, there's so much value in Bengals right now. Down one possession, plus 250 on the money line. I don't see how you don't think this is not you, but how people don't think this will be a closer game and they'll come back. I was saying in the break, I mean, this is their chance to start getting a little bit more aggressive. They're not going to go crazy, but I think this opens the game up a little more. Could be for the opposite and opens up the game with an interception, but I think you're going to start seeing them push the pace a little bit. So this is when I think things start to get really interesting as we get into the third and fourth quarter.
Yep.
Are you is this the point where you're like weirdly optimistic, or are you still just like a nervous wreck?
No, I've settled down.
Okay.
It's something about the start of a game, the kickoff, the anticipation. All week we've been talking about this matchup. I know a lot of people had a lot to say, especially about the Niner situation, and Brock Purdy was such a great story and all of that. But I feel like most of the sports talk this week was about this game. And I thought it was interesting that even Chris Johnson said he thinks the winner of this game wins the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of how I felt too as I was watching. I was even watching on Fox earlier, which obviously has the NFC coverage.
Yeah.
And it just seemed like 75% of the time was completely dominated by this. Start of the week was Mahomes' injury. Back half of the week is all the shit talking. So this was the game of the week. And yeah, maybe you can make the argument this is the Super Bowl here. This is the team that's going to come out on top in 2 weeks.
Well, didn't it feel like it last year in the divisional round, Chiefs, Bills? Everyone kept saying that should have been the AFC Championship. It felt like it was supposed to be. And obviously that was one of the best playoff games ever. Hey, speaking of one of the best playoff games ever, coming up, we have Andre Reed who's going to be joining us, and he would have something to say about one of the best playoff games ever. He was a part of the 1993 team with the Bills, the comeback, which at the time was one of the biggest comebacks of all time. And then we saw Jacksonville and the Chargers, the third biggest comeback in NFL playoff history, fifth biggest comeback overall, down 27-0, Trevor Lawrence, 4 picks. And that was just a couple weeks ago. But it's funny. I feel like there have been a lot of big comebacks lately. The Bucks had a big one this year. Do you feel like in this day and age, it's easier to come back than back in 1993 when Andre Reed did it?
I was talking about this with someone yesterday. It just seems like people just take their foot off the pedal nowadays, and they're just trying to maintain the pace of the game. Whereas I think, if you didn't realize these last couple of weeks, especially with that Jacksonville game, you just got to step on their throats. You cannot afford to give it up. And I mean, it was a regular season game, but you say the same thing about the Colts-Vikings game. Like, how do you let someone come down from 30-something points and come and beat you? It's as much as it's could be your defense's fault, it's a little bit offense's fault for taking the foot off the gas.
Yeah. What do you think is the most interesting thing that you heard from both guests so far? Because I feel like there was some like gems in there. My brain's always on the podcast. I'm like, oh, we should clip that for social, but this is live. We can't do that.
I love that Chris Johnson just basically said there's just gonna be no one else like him. I just think it's like it's so. I don't want to say it's braggy because it's not braggy. It's just so right, but he's so freaking confident. Yeah, like when you rush for 2K and you have 2,500 all-purpose yards in the season, like, you can just say that. So he was awesome. I mean, I'm a little biased because he's part of our BetMGM family too, but and plus it was, I saw a couple of years of Dhani Jones, but like we grew up in Chris Johnson's heyday. Like I remember him on ECU because I had a buddy that went to school there, and I remember seeing him get drafted and have those amazing, I think it was like 5 years in Tennessee.
And that was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's a cool dude. And yeah, I think we're going to have to talk to my boss, Ray Doyle. If you're watching, we might have to do a Barry Sanders, Chris Johnson commercial. So we'll talk tomorrow at work.
I was going to say that's what stuck out to me is his reverence for Barry Sanders. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, man, it's so crazy that every single person has like reveres Barry Sanders. And when you get to hear it firsthand, you just realize like how powerful of a player he was. And he cut it short. He probably could have played another 5 years and still been at a top level. And
he definitely cut it short and never was able to win. He stuck with it in Detroit, and he has so many accolades, but he has no banners. I don't think they even won the division when he was there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to get in trouble if I'm wrong on that.
What was the best part of meeting Barry Sanders? Was it him saying for Wolfie to be calling him Uncle Barry, or was it when you just kicked the field goal that day?
It might have been when I kicked a field goal in a dress in front of Barry Sanders. No, I've met him a couple times now in the BetMGM family, and he's fantastic. Our ambassador list is really impressive. I don't have to tell you that. You know everyone in it.
Yep.
And sometimes we don't cross paths. Like I've never met Jamie Foxx, even though he's like the face of BetMGM. Hope to do so soon. And Kevin Garnett, we've had on the podcast. He's in the fam. Marshawn Lynch, never met in person, but not only do I want to meet Marshawn Lynch, I want to like have a long dinner with Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah.
I feel like something in us would get along.
Safe to say that'd be one of your more memorable nights ever with Marshawn.
Or unmemorable.
Depends how you look at it.
Okay, Kansas City has the ball.
So who's
Start
your
of the
favorite,
third quarter. Here we go.
Who's your favorite BetMGM ambassador that you have spoken to out of the guys like KG or Barry or even CJ here?
Well, and again, I hate to just, keep kissing the ring, but I feel like Barry Sanders is just one of those unique people, just such a class act. And I just so appreciate everything he does for BetMGM. And then I appreciate every time I've gotten to meet him, the way he complete tunnel vision on what's right in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yep.
A lot of people, whether they're famous or not famous, you can tell everyone's kind of always looking behind you or looking at their phone or something. It's just the world we live in. And Barry Sanders is one of those people who, when you're talking to him, you have his full attention. And that's so refreshing in 2023. And for someone who's so accomplished. Okay, quarterback comparison in the first half. Burrow, 15 for 22. Mahomes, 13 for 19. Not too off in passing yards. Burrow, 147. Mahomes, 165. Burrow, the one interception, which should have been 2 interceptions, except the defensive pass interference. So I think Cincinnati's lucky to have 6 points on the board, it almost feels like, right?
Yeah, and it seems like lopsided.
Mahomes. No catch. Way over.
Lopsided part of the game is Bengals just cannot get their run game going. Again, speaking to what you said earlier with the Bengals front 4, front 7, they cannot set anything up yet. So maybe that's how they open up the game here in the second half. They get the run established, can pass the ball around. Yeah. But something's got to change.
Oh, for sure. Mahomes running off to the sideline looks really gingerly. I know everyone's pounding that, and we haven't talked too much about it on this, but he's for sure not himself.
Yeah, I've not that I compare myself to an NFL number 1 quarterback of our generation, but having a high ankle sprain is one of the least fun injuries of all time. You just feel like you want to stay in bed forever. Like anytime you put the slightest amount of pressure on it, hurts.
Yeah.
I could just imagine having 11 280-pound guys coming at you and that happening. So yeah, I sympathize for sure.
Yep. I mentioned Andre Reed is coming on in a bit. He's also been on the podcast. That is such a good episode. I actually re-listened to it today to get ready to speak with him later on. And I just remember his energy on that podcast episode with me and Jerry was so good. And we played back the video of him slamming on the table like all the Bills fans do. And we asked him, that had to hurt. He jumped out of a tree, Peter, onto a folding table. You probably remember that episode. It was a really good one. And we asked him, did that hurt? And he's like, no, man, after the guys I had to run into when I was playing, that didn't hurt.
What in terms of maybe your top 2 or top 3, so you've been doing this 3 seasons now with us, or 2.5-ish seasons, let's say. Who ranks there in like the 1, 2, and 3 in terms of people you've interviewed with us on the Unleashed podcast?
Oh man, that's a good one. There have definitely been some episodes when we, close your laptop, turn off the computer, whatever, after recording, I'm like, wow, that was a really good episode. And I'll text my friends who maybe aren't the biggest sports fans. Sometimes I'll be like, y'all should really listen to this one. It's a really good listen. I'm trying to think of names honestly, the Andre Reed one stuck out as a really good one because he had so much personality. Okay, I've got to say, and my husband gets mad every time I say this answer, but the John Stamos episode
the best.
The most random. I think I was just pink. I was blushing the whole time. That is a good looking man. And I came out from my office and my husband goes, "How was Stamos?" And I was like, "Oh, he was good." like a kindergarten girl, like love struck by a second grader.
That
Woo.
Just that one, we talked about it when I saw you in person. Like that one line was just freaking amazing. Like that made the whole thing.
When I said, John, when I told some of my mother-in-law and her friends, and these are women in their 60s, that you were coming on the show, they kind of squealed like little pigs. And I said, does it ever get old being this heartthrob? And he leans in close to the camera and he goes, not one bit. And I was like, God, you're cool.
Who is like the prize? Like, who's the one that you like would love to interview in the world? Doesn't have to be in sports, can be in media, can be an actor, actress. Like, who's the one that you'd be like salivating over?
God, I love music. I'd have to say a musician, and let's say like living musician.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think like biggest star in the world, like my thoughts kind of go to like a Beyonce,
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know. I'm not good at these on the spot questions. I'm better at asking questions than answering questions. And I'm watching a game. Peter, I'm watching a damn game.
And I think we've got our next guest coming with us too.
All
So you
right.
might not get Beyonce, but this might be the next best thing here.
Mr. Sean Merriman.
What's
welcome.
up? What's up, guys? How you doing?
We're great. We're so glad you could be on with us. Thank you.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Do you have a TV in view? Are you able to watch the game while we talk?
That's what I'm doing right now. So I felt you when you said that you watching the game two at the same time. I'm like, I'm here and I'm right here. So
yep, I know. It's hard. It's hard.
So I asked Olivia, this is a good icebreaker, if she could interview one person in the world, actor, actress, musician, whatever. She said Beyonce. Is there someone that you would do that dinner, interview, sit down with? Is there one person in the world?
Probably, I don't know, probably Elon, I think.
That's a great answer.
I think Elon. I would love to just kind of pick his brain on like and see if he can stay on one topic because he's so damn smart.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure he got a lot of good information.
That's a very good answer.
I always think of like, could I be able to do one of like controversy? Would I be able to like sit and have a conversation with Kanye? But I think I would just like my head would explode.
I mean, well, to be entertaining, that's for sure. I mean, it'll probably be a highest viewed show if he stays and finish and doesn't walk off. But
yeah. Obviously, Sean Merriman, all-pro linebacker, lights out. Let's talk a little bit about the second line of defense that we're seeing here on both sides. We've been talking so much about this Kansas City front seven, especially, but as you look at these star quarterbacks, I said early on in the game, we can talk all we want about them, but it depends on what these defenses are going to let them get away with. What are they letting them get away with? And more importantly, what are they not letting them get away with as we look at a 13-6 scoreboard?
Well, I mean, for one, when you're talking about the D-line, right, like Chris Jones is just playing out of his mind right now. And as good as that Buffalo Bills team was, like Cincinnati didn't see anything like Chris Jones. And so, like, when you talk about these great quarterbacks, the only way to stop them are great pass rushers and guys who can get after them, right? There's really no other way. And the way Patrick Mahomes has been playing right now on that ankle, like I just knew for sure that Casey wasn't going to win. I didn't think he would be walking around at all, but he's like getting it done. So I'm a little bit shocked.
So sticking to the Mahomes side of the ball, you played with a pretty good tight end a couple of years, D'Antonio Gates. Where do you rank Travis Kelce with the likes of him, Rob Gronkowski, Tony Gonzalez? Where does Kelce, after only a couple of years, kind of fit in that top 5, top 10?
I think when I think by the time he gets done, he's going to be he has to be up there. Not that he's not already on the pace to do it. I just think he has so much more left to do. And I played with Antonio Gates, man, and he has such a long career and performing at a high level. I don't think there was no year that even in my second year he looked different in his 10th. right? Like he was still balling out of control. He still looked fluent in all his routes and finding ways to get open. And so I think that when Travis Kelce is done, I think that he will ultimately end up, somewhere in that top 5-ish, top 7 range for sure.
Man,
Where
he's
does
fun
Gates
to watch.
Gates is number 1 in your eyes? Is it Tony G?
I mean, of course I'm gonna be a little biased,
Yep.
I do think that Gates is up there, and then Tony G, Shannon Sharp or Gronk. You can go, any one of those two, Kellen Winslow, and I think that when it's all said and done, like Kelce would be that 6 or 7, in my opinion.
Yep.
I like that. How'd you get the nickname Lights Out, by the way? I mean, I can use my imagination, but who gave it to you?
Yeah, my sophomore year, I knocked out 4 kids in one game in high school. And so right after the game, I had like 20 students come around to me and they said, "Oh, you knocked these guys lights out." And I looked at them like it was supposed to happen, and I just said, "Yeah, you know what? Call me Lights Out." And that name stuck. I remember going to school like Monday morning, and this was pre-social media and YouTube and all that stuff. So it just traveled that fast. And I remember walking through school and everybody was like, "Oh, what's up, Lights?" And for short for Lights Out.
It.
And I went home and I begged my mom to let me get a Lights Out tattoo on my right forearm. And she looked at me and said, "Boy, get the hell out the room," is what she said, right? And so every day for 2 weeks, I would ask her, and finally that last day of the 2 weeks, she said, "All right, come on, let's go." Coincidentally, I got the tattoo. The tattoo was $56, which was my jersey number.
Wow.
In the NFL. So it's too much of a coincidence. But yeah, that's how I got it.
Do you have to tell people, like you go to Maryland, you got to tell people your nickname Lights Out, or they already know by the time you're on the football field?
No, it's funny. More people call me Lights than Sean. Even some of my closest friends, mostly everybody. The only one that still really call me Sean is when I'm doing other stuff in my family. That's it really. Everybody else, all my coaches from high school, college, and pros, everybody called me Lights.
Okay, Stephen Master asked, "Love the Lights Out story. Did the 4 kids you knocked out ever step foot on a football field again?"
Not that I know of.
Yeah. They said, "We're just going to hang it up after that one."
Yeah, no, that was definitely it. What the crazy part about that is, like, you have a nickname like a basketball player playing at Rucker Park, right, in New York. Like it's one of those things that's earned, and then every like from high school to college, the juniors and seniors. Like when I got to college and E.J. Henderson and all the older guys that was there, they're like, "I'm not calling you Lights Out. You're a freshman. Like, I'm not calling you like." So,
we got a touchdown. I'm sorry to interrupt. We got a T. Higgins touchdown.
Okay, there we go.
There we go.
I know at some point that Burrow was going to start heating up. And, Jamar Chase had a couple catches this game, but he hasn't even really taken over the game just yet. So by Higgins scoring that touchdown, I'm interested to see, will it take some of that pressure? Because they were double teaming the hell out of Jamar Chase.
Yep.
And so, if T. Higgins just scored that touchdown, I'm looking to see if, Chase started to pump it up now.
Yeah, Jamar Chase has 37 receiving yards. And T. Higgins, 73 receiving yards. Peter, was that in your parlay?
So him
just the
touchdown was. So we got Higgins anytime touchdown, Kelce. We need Mahomes under 329 and -1.5 on the Bengals. So we're halfway there.
But Burrow hit 5 targets already, right? He got it. He just 6. I think 6 targets. Different players.
Yes. Yeah. You're right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make that 7.
7. Wow. Yeah. At some point in time, Jamar Chase is just he's gonna start, blowing it up. It's just coming.
Sean, do you gamble on sports?
Not really, but everybody else around me do.
Yeah. Yeah,
everybody else around me does.
Well, you've come to the right place. If you want to start, you should talk with Peter Andreu because he gives great advice.
Hey, listen, I'm always about winning some more money. So
right.
Hey, I don't need to be the 5th person that gets knocked out by Sean Merriman if I give a bad pick. So, is there on a serious note? is the Bengals combo of Boyd, Higgins, Jamar Chase, is that the best trio in football in terms of wideouts?
Yeah, I would say so. I think you got to put like Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Everett, maybe 2 up there. Out of the 3. But yeah, I would say they're 1 or 2 for sure.
Yeah. So you mentioned Lights Out before in a different way, but Lights Out kind of has taken a new dimension now with MMA. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, Lights Out Extreme Fighting. We're now on Fubo Sports, Fubo TV. We had a big fight on the 15th of January in Riverside, and I just found out last Friday that we set a record for Fubo Sports as the top 10 most watched ever. So I think that was pretty cool. But I got into MMA actually because I started to train myself during the off season, like between my first and second year, with Jay Glaze over at Fox Sports, and then Randy Couture. So those guys, my first day learning any kind of MMA and pummeling and grappling and jiu-jitsu was with Randy Couture. And I just kind of stuck around the sport for that long. In 2018, I launched Lights Out Extreme Fighting, and like I said, we're now on Football Sports, Football TV.
Would you ever see yourself in the octagon in a real fight? And if so, current NFL player, one that you played with, would you have one in mind that you'd want to go up against in your first match?
It's funny because I've always said that I would go in another former NFL guy or WWE or somebody who has some kind of mixed martial arts background and has some training. I would definitely take a fight with them Lights Out. But for me, people will have to want to see it, right? Like it.
Yeah.
It's really no need. It's kind of hard to do what I'm doing now and like running everything and then go and train. Mm-hmm. So it has to be like, okay, everybody like, hey, we got to see this happen. And that's when I'll be like, okay, well, I'll make it happen. So to answer your question, absolutely.
So we're just going to have to start tweeting at Brock Lesnar for the next couple of weeks, and then we'll get something stirred up.
Hold on now. We got it. We're talking about we're jumping the gun.
Levels.
There's levels to it. But no, actually, there was a couple former WWE guys we were talking to at one point to have a fight, and some of those guys they were shooting a movie, so they didn't do it. But the contract was almost done 2 years ago.
Wow.
Sean, is there any coach who's coaching at all today on any of the 4 teams that you're particularly rooting for? An old coach of yours or someone maybe you played with?
Well, yeah. So Denard Wilson, I think he's defensive back coach for the Eagles. I played with him in college. So I'm rooting for him. I'm hoping that one day he gets a defensive coordinator job and a head coach one of these days. Rooting for him. I like Zach. I like Zach a lot too. Yeah. I think he's just brilliant, man, and like a really good leader of his team and allow his guys like he just seems like he wants his guys to beat themselves. Like he's not going to try to pull back barrel and tame all these guys, let their personality show. Like I like coaches like that because they keep everything light. So and Andy Reid too, even though he coaches in the same division with my I always love Andy Reid, man. He's such a brilliant offensive mind, and I used to hate playing against him when he was with Philly. I hated it.
Yeah, Andy Reid is fun to watch. I'm curious, and we asked Chris Johnson this just a bit ago. Trick plays at this point in the season, and Andy Reid certainly is one to draw up a nice one. There was one earlier tonight, a hook and ladder that didn't work, and people were upset about that one. But we see the Chiefs go pretty deep in the bag sometimes, the bag of plays. How do you like watching a brilliant offense like that pulling out those trick plays in the playoffs?
I like it. I like it because it just, as a defensive player, you hate it because it just keeps you on your toes all the time, and you don't know, right, what's going to happen. That when he stopped for the path for the hook, if that ball was underthrown, when he threw an underhand, if it was thrown right, that would have been a score. Yeah, because there was nobody around. The fact he bobbled and dropped the ball, it's like one of those things where you say, no, like, you know, so if it works, it's
You
great.
love it.
You
Yeah.
love it. And if it don't, it's dumb, right? Like, wow, I can't believe you did that. So it's kind of the gift and the curse of how his offensive strategies go.
Hey, last thing before we let you go here, I don't think any pro athlete has not had an ankle sprain at some point. When you're watching Patrick Mahomes really running to and from the sideline is almost when it looks the worst. What are you seeing?
I just say he must be on some good stuff. You know?
Yeah. I want what he's having.
He must be on some good stuff because that ankle injury, the high ankle sprain he has, that's a 3 to 6 week deal. I mean, no matter how you look at it, even the slightest ones, I've had that before, and you're walking around during the week in the boot, and somehow, some way, you find a way to play in the game. Like that's a bare minimum 3 week deal, all the way up to 6 weeks before you're fully healthy. So, you know, the way he's playing, like he's running around, and I see him limping now. They just showed that last replay of him limping a little bit, and over time, whatever that good stuff he took, it's going to start wearing off a little bit, and he's going to wake up in the morning with his ankle, you know, the size of a cantaloupe. So,
and the question remains if he'll be prepping to face Philadelphia in a couple weeks. So we hang in and watch there now as we have a tie game. Sean, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate all your insight and the time.
You got it. Thanks for having me on.
Take care.
Thanks,
Thank you. And everyone, keep the comments coming in because we have one more guest slated to come in just a little bit, and you can ask him a question. We'll read your comments on here. But it's pretty special. Like I mentioned, someone who's been on the podcast before. And if you want to go back and look through social media, you'll see this man jumping from a tree onto a folding table like any Bills fool would do. It's Hall of Famer Andre Reed. We're going to be welcoming him in. There we go. How are you, Andre?
Can you guys hear me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah. Oh, we're so glad you're back.
Yes. Today is my my cumpleaños in Spanish. It means my birthday. So
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Feliz cumpleaños.
yeah. So it's my birthday today. I just got done playing golf. I was playing in Charlie Hoffman's golf tournament. He's the local San Diego guy on the PGA Tour. A couple guys actually that played in the Farmers were here today playing in the tournament. So it was good to talk to some golf guys, not only about golf, but the mindset of a golfer compared to the mindset of a football player.
And what do you learn?
So this is going to help me here. This passed on information.
Yeah, it was very interesting. It's pretty close, believe it or not, even though it's more individualized in golf. But these guys have the same kind of, you know, drive and mentality as a football player. You know, they're just not banging into anybody. So Sam Ryder, who was leading after 3 rounds in the tournament this weekend there at the Farmers, and ended up coming in 4th, I think, or 5th place. And I asked him, I said, what is that like when you, like, how do you prepare? Like, everything has a preparation to it. And golf is just a little bit different because it's right. Golf is 3 inches between your forehead. And it was a different perspective of how these guys every single week go against the best, just like football. You go against the best in there, whatever, every week. And the mental preparation of being ready for that every single week. And then when things go good and things go wrong, you got to flip the script and all that. It was a different perspective. And it's more individualized in golf. You're the one that makes a swing. Your caddy's there to help you with yardage and break and this and that. But inevitably, a caddy don't do anything for you other than that. So it was a great perspective for me to hear it from a guy that's, you know, he's a professional golfer.
Wow.
There you go.
Peter, I can see the wheels turning in your head. You got a big golf fan in Peter Andreu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Huge golf fan. So I got LA Rams up, said golf in San Diego rocks. We all know that. What's your favorite course over in San Diego?
Let's see. Well, obviously Torrey Pines, when it's playing like it did this weekend, is a phenomenal course. It's always good there. Certain time of the year, it's not going to be as good because of the greens and weather and whatever you want to call it. But Torrey Pines has always been a great muni golf course, but a lot of private courses are really good here. I love playing in Orange County, which is about an hour and 20 minutes up the road.
Oh, nice.
A lot of the courses there are nice. Monarch, Coda de Casa, all these courses are nice. So, you know, you can play on what did I say? You could play on a cow pasture. You still got to put it in the hole.
Yeah.
You guys know a lot of NFL players love golf because it's not our comfort zone and we're not really comfortable in that kind of element.
And it's kind of the one challenge that you can keep athletically for life. You know, once you phase out of playing football, you can always play golf.
Yeah, I came out with a football and should have came out with a golf ball. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But
let's get to this game. It is tied up 13 apiece. Kansas City is driving, and this drive is looking pretty good. Right now, they're on the Cincinnati 26. It's 3rd and 7. What are you seeing from Patrick Mahomes?
He's gimpy right now. You know, I heard you guys earlier. He's kind of on that ankle, and Sean even said it earlier. A high ankle sprain is tough to play on. It's an injury that I think we probably had high ankle sprains when I played, but they didn't call them high ankle sprains. You just say, man, you sprained your ankle. That's it.
Yeah.
But it
or
could be
he has an ankle.
Yeah, it could be a 6 to 12 week thing because you're always moving, and if you move a certain way, it's gonna tweak it and all that. But it looks like he's taped up a little bit extra. I don't know what is it, his right foot or left? His
right ankle.
Yeah, his right ankle looks like it has a little bit more tape on it than usual. So but he's Patrick Mahomes too. So but he's mentally he is one of the toughest quarterbacks out there, and he's going up against another mental tough guy in Joe Burrow. So this might come down to, let's see, it's 4th and 1.
Let's see what they dial up here.
Yeah, with 5 minutes left in the third quarter. So Andy Reid might challenge this. Maybe not. He might get drive with the strip. He might get it. So Andy Reid, you guys were talking about Andy, and Sean was talking about him. He's such a great offensive mind, even when he was with the Packers under Mike Holmgren. That's where he came from. So, and then when you have the personnel that he has, even though he doesn't have Tyreek Hill, you could do a lot of things with a mind like that. And Patrick Mahomes obviously makes it all work, and Travis Kelce. So they've always had a good group of guys there on offense with Andy over the years. So, but this could go down to a one series. It could go down to a play or two.
Yep.
So you mentioned
this drive
guys like
is a really
Tyreek,
important one. Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned guys like Tyreek Hill or even Deebo Samuel, where the position of wide receiver is kind of evolving. Guys in the backfield way more. Do you envision that to happen more as the years go on? Is it a Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid kind of thing?
It's already happened. Christian McCaffrey's in that he's in that question. He's in that conversation too. You want a versatile guy that you have to game plan for in every single situation. And Debo is that guy, was that guy in San Fran. And you bring McCaffrey in there, and then you have Kittle. It's just so unfortunate that Purdy got hurt. Who knows if it would have been a different game in Philadelphia today if Purdy wouldn't have got hurt or not. But, Philadelphia is a complete team on both sides of the ball. It's hard to beat them, and in Philly too. So is that the trend, the way the NFL is going? Pretty much everybody would like to have a guy like Debo. It's hard to find a guy that can do everything like that, and Christian McCaffrey. So that's always been the trend, because that really puts the onus on the defense to make the right changes when they need to. And if they don't, cancel Christmas here. So that's you'll see more of that. The guys teams are going to draft to find a guy that can do a lot of things.
So Command This podcast just commented, why are these teams allergic to running tonight? And as I'm looking at the updated stats, Cincinnati, 45 yards on the ground, Kansas City, 25. Yeah. I guess I hadn't realized. I mean, they really are just airing it out. Why do you feel like?
That's a good question. They're not allergic to it. They're just saying they're putting it in the quarterback's hands and win this game. Whoever it is, it's an MVP quarterback, and you got Joe Burrow, who's going to be an MVP someday, commanding that offense. 3 great receivers there for the Bengals and Tyler Boyd and Higgins and Jamar Chase. I mean, you got to put the ball in your best player's hands, and that's what the Bengals are going to try to do. Put it in Mahomes' hands and give it to Kelsey and see what's up. That's it. Those are your odds. Those are your odds right there.
Important to point that the Bengals brought down Patrick Mahomes. He got sacked earlier on this drive, and everyone, I think, holds their breath that he's not going to pop up. He did pop up. I guess I'm just curious if the Chiefs win this game and he's got 2 weeks to heal up.
He's going to be sore a little bit. He'll have 2 weeks to get it right. I mean, will it ever be right? This is going to set him back a little bit because of all that. But I think a 2-week rest will help out a lot. And, whatever, I don't even know what the extent of his ankle sprain is. I mean, there's a certain thing as you're not coming out, period. So maybe he has a high ankle sprain, but maybe it isn't as severe as we think it is. This is the biggest play of the game right now. And they got the first down.
Yep.
Well, they already did.
What's it, 2nd and 8 on the 17?
Yeah, they measured, and I guess they got the measurement right.
Nice. Worth the challenge.
Yep.
Who do you think poses the bigger threat to Philadelphia next in the Super Bowl?
Well, with that gimpy Patrick Mahomes, it ain't going to be the Chiefs. I think Joe Burrow's probably a bigger threat, a healthy Joe Burrow, than a semi-healthy Patrick Mahomes.
I brought up earlier.
The Eagles are just great on all, Wow, did you just see that thing? This dude is amazing, making flips and.
Oh, we should also tell you, Andre, we're a little delayed.
So I got to do this all over again?
No.
Oh, you are a little. So I'm giving you what's happening. Oh,
hey, that's all right.
Okay.
I just saw.
You just saw
Mahomes went down. He flipped it up to Pacheco.
He's down. He's down. He's down.
Patrick's saying, hurry up.
Yeah, he's down. They called the timeout. He challenged, yeah. I think he was down on the ground. His knee was down.
I don't know. Oh, yep, knees down.
Before the ball got out. Good challenge by Zach Taylor. Great challenge at this point of the game, because this, even though he got a whole quarter left, let's see.
Andre, do games in the playoff?
Yep, down, right there.
Do these playoff games as a player feel quicker? I feel like as a fan, these games feel quicker because every play seems to matter so much.
That's a good way to put it. Because the game is so intense and so it could come down to one play. I mean, it's
Or maybe not quicker. Maybe that's not the right word. But what does a playoff game feel like in terms of a difference of the game day and the overall game?
Wow.
Okay, 3rd and 10.
I won't say it.
Oh, touchdown.
Touchdown, yeah.
MVS. Oh, okay.
I thought he had a chance to knock that ball down for some reason. Oh, it got there just in time. You see that? See, I'm telling you guys right now.
Okay.
That is this game that much. Either for a first down or a guy knocking the ball down, that's how much it is in this game. It isn't this much. That much.
Peter, have you seen the touchdown yet? Are you that delayed?
Yeah, I just got the touchdown about 3 seconds ago, so we're good.
Knocking that down.
Yeah.
And he had one last week too against Jacksonville.
He was a quarter of a second late.
Wow. Oh man, that's good. Oh, and Mahomes is
Man.
limping so much.
Yeah.
How is this man playing on one leg?
It's a gutsy performance. Look at that.
It is.
How that was.
Yeah. Oh, that was a great throw.
When you think of your Buffalo Bills and what they need to get over that next hump, what are they missing, you think? Is it the experience? Is it
I don't know.
one player away?
It's obviously we miss Vaughn, Micah Hyde, defense. Those guys are veterans. Those guys not only are, great on the field, they're great in the locker room. It's not like the Bills. I just think, and I'm not making any excuses for them.
Yep.
They didn't play well enough to win from the beginning. That's really the bottom line. The heroics of Josh weren't going to bring them back in this game and that game last week. But it's not that they're one player away.
Yeah.
Or
they've got the players.
I think they just ran out of steam emotionally because of what's all been going on with DeMar and what's been going on the last year there. With the snowstorms and all that. And again, I'm not making any excuses for them, but it was people don't realize the game is 90% mental. It is. It plays on your mind. And if you're not ready to play, it's hard to get that. It's hard to get that mental edge. These guys just don't want the physical edge. They want the mental edge too, because that's 90% of the game. That's how coaches coach. You wouldn't be out there if you weren't physical enough to play the game. Games a lot of time are won right here. They're won upstairs. And I just think the Bills were mentally drained. And they couldn't recover from it.
Have you ever been a part of something? Obviously, the DeMar Hamlin stuff is almost the worst case scenario. But anything to maybe a smaller extent where you didn't want to go back on the field, or you knew football was second priority to what was happening?
I did a lot of podcasts, a lot of interviews during that time, that following 3 days after DeMar's thing. Mm-hmm. And I can't recall even when I was Pop Warner or high school, junior high, high school, college, and pros of that kind of thing happening. I never witnessed anything like that. Usually you witness something like that and they go off in a stretcher, or, they give you the thumbs up, or it's a knee, but nothing like that. So you're really not prepared for anything like that. So my answer is no, there's nothing has ever been that close to that. I mean, the dude was dead for 9 minutes.
Man.
Basically, he was dead for 9 minutes.
Never crazy to think where we are now. Yeah, it's amazing to think of where we are, I should say now. He's
of course
back to almost full health, and yeah.
I mean, he just did an interview for the Bills. I just saw it online on Instagram. And it was like a 13, 14 minute, 15 minute, him thanking everybody and all the love and all the prayers. And I mean, geez. And that's
heavy stuff.
That's his first public speaking since the incident.
Well, he was having some fun on social media because there were conspiracy theories that it wasn't really him. And he was having the most fun with that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's it's so funny. It's like, see, the power of social media, right?
Right.
Why would you do? I mean,
we can never just get one nice thing. Just like one.
I know.
There's a lot more things we could deal with than throwing that out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, Peter, you said it well. Like, we can't just have a nice thing. Okay, looks like Cincy's going to punt here. Wow. Andre, it is your birthday. We are not going to keep you one more second. I can't believe you spent this much time with us. You are a class act. I really appreciate you.
Before you know it, I'm telling you, pi equals MC squared or something like that. 3.14. That's
and again,
pi.
I've got to just tell you, I went back and I listened to the episode you did. I think that was back in October. You were in Canada.
Oh, that was
You were in Ottawa.
I actually was with Thurman and Bruce. We did with Canadian football.
Yes. Yes.
That's when we high school kids and kids that are going to college and all that kind of stuff. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
You know, because they were like looking at us like this.
Right.
So but I was in Ottawa. I'd never been to Ottawa before, and basically Ottawa is like our Washington DC is like Ottawa.
Oh.
So that's where all the government buildings are, and the president, they're all in Ottawa.
I hope we don't have many Canadians joining us. Is Toronto not where all that is?
Now Toronto's right by Buffalo.
Yeah. I know. I lived in Toronto for a little bit, and I'm still
Ottawa is a little more
near Montreal.
Yeah. Okay. No. Actually, you got to go up and over into Canada. It's like in the middle of Canada.
And what's pi again?
3.14.
Gotcha. Okay.
See, you didn't think I did that.
We're bringing this podcast full circle with geography, math, sports knowledge.
Oh man, football players. Hey, bro.
Yeah.
He's got
Would you
something.
say 3 inches?
I know it now. I know it now, but I didn't know it in school. So how you figure?
Well, happy birthday, my friend. Thank you for coming back on with us. You're a pleasure to talk to.
You got it. Peace.
Take care.
Thanks,
happy birthday. Man, Peter, it was his birthday.
Yeah. That's something.
He joined us. Oh, that's really cool. No, he's great. And I went back and listened to the episode of Unleashed with him today. And I'm telling y'all to go back and listen to it. Just search Andre Reed Unleashed in your podcast and he'll come up. It's a great episode. You can tell he's all over the map and such a fascinating character. So it's a great listen. Okay, Kansas City's driving here. We cannot lose focus of the game now that we are getting to the final minutes of the third quarter. About 2.5 minutes left on the clock. How are you feeling, Pete?
Not great. Not great about Bengals -1.5, but still a full quarter to go. Bengals right now we're +7.5 on the spread, +425 money line. So if the odds are telling you anything, they don't got too much of a shot here right now. So a little concerned, especially because the first two bets hit. The two probably the hardest ones, the two anytime touchdown scorers. Mahomes is under that 329.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling is a beast.
What
Boy,
I might
is he
have to
having
do
a
is
game.
I might have to go downstairs so I can watch live with you, so I'm not still in the second quarter.
Well, at the end of this quarter, we'll take a break, and maybe you should do that because I think this is going to be a hell of a fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
Hey, producer Dylan, can we go ahead and flash up our original bets? Let's check in with what's hitting. Okay. You already mentioned Cincy -1.5, but your parlay, we got the T. Higgins tutty, Travis Kelce tutty, Mahomes under 329. I think you're comfortable there. Hayden Hurst over 33.5. Where are we there?
We are at 2 for 12.
Oh.
I think he had one big drop, but it actually might have been that pass interference. But
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna need a little help here in the fourth quarter.
Man, I wish I would have had more confidence in Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's doing great.
6 for 116 and a touchdown.
Okay, yeah. So the Hayden Hurst over. Okay, here are mine. Bengals +2.5. Pacheco over 49.5 rush. He has to have that, right?
Pacheco's no
14 yards. Dang. God, it feels like he's been so much more active than that, but he's been catching out of the backfield.
And then what's your third one here?
I got Mahomes over 2.5 pass touchdowns, and he has 2. Okay, I like that.
So you're in good shape there. Plus
I'm in good
150
shape.
also. Yeah.
I need a couple big Pacheco runs.
Do you have do you got a favorite Chiefs player there now or from years back?
You know what's funny? So I mentioned I worked the game last weekend. After the game, I interviewed Isaiah Pacheco and Jalen Watson, the cornerback, both rookies. And as I'm interviewing Isaiah, who just had a great game, I said, this is your first playoff game. Obviously, he's a rookie. They had a bye. So this Jacksonville game was his first playoff game. I said, what did some of the vets tell you about what to expect about the playoffs in Arrowhead, all that? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, well, it's my second playoff game and blah, blah. And immediately we went on to ask other questions. Obviously talked a lot about Mahomes' ankle and stuff. But I could not focus on anything else because I'm like, I know this is this kid's first game.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget. And afterwards, I go up to the booth after the game. I said, did y'all hear what Isaiah said? And they all said, we were freaking out. We were like, this kid's a rookie. This is his first play. Anyways, I truly wanted to almost DM him on Twitter and be like, I can't sleep because you're making me feel like I'm losing my mind. I still don't know what he meant by that. Anyways. And then Jalen Watson, who's already had an interception tonight too, and he had an interception last week. So those two rookies on both sides of the ball getting it done. So I'm enjoying them right now. One of my favorite Chiefs of all time is Tony Gonzalez. I love him. I love him on podcasts. I love him as a speaker. I'm just a big fan of him. Oh, big dog
I assume
pile.
Yeah, looks like Bengals ball there.
They got the ball?
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge. That's huge.
Definitely has the ball.
Okay. Oh, did you see it coming out of Mahomes' hand?
Yeah.
What happened there? There wasn't even anyone near him. What happened? Was it a bad snap?
It's that cold temperature.
Look, that is bizarre. That you never see that with him or anyone. He had full control of it after the snap.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a weird. Oh, that one is unforgivable, That one, it just kept rolling out of his hand. That was bad.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Yeah. Kyle Manifold. Well, that was unexpected.
Yeah. For a second, I thought Pacheco was coming close to him. He might have touched him, but it was just a bad angle. It was
no one's next to him. Oh, that sucks.
Have you ever met Jackson Mahomes out in KC?
Peter, don't do this to me now. You know that I go off on this topic.
I needed we can give a condensed version of just
okay. I talked a lot about it last year on Unleashed because it was last year that he was making a name for himself.
This is one of our first conversations in person in LA last year. Was talking about
You're right. And I don't want to beat up on anyone. And, I don't really like the way he's represented his own brother. And then here in Kansas City, of course, it's a small town. You hear a lot of things. Yeah. My sister was at the game last weekend and was sitting next to him in one of the suite level bars. And he was on TikTok Live the whole time while his brother was playing in this game and getting rolled up on and in a lot of pain. And all this, and I should stop myself now, but let's just say he was very interested in his TikTok Live.
Is it true? I don't know if it's a rumor or not. Is he not allowed back down on the field pregame because he was just such a nuisance?
I don't know, but I don't think he's been back down there.
I know. Ever since he was it was Sean Taylor's.
I was just gonna say in Washington.
Yeah, and that was a bad look. But you're right. Won't bash the guy. Just some questionable things have happened.
Oh, that's fair. And because it was a big talking point. Okay, end of the third quarter. We're going to go ahead and take a little break too so Peter can go downstairs and get on the quicker stream of the game. Keep the comments coming, and we're going to be answering some more questions. So this is a lot of fun. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Also, share the link with your friends and family. Let's get a lot of people in here for the fourth quarter because this is going to be a hell of a fourth quarter. See you guys in a couple minutes.
You know what I'm saying? In front of everybody. Oh. Game starts at 20. Bet slip is empty. I got to call KG.
KG, what up? I got nothing for you, Fox.
Oh, come on. What you got, huh?
And it's spa day, Jamie. You don't interrupt spa day.
Okay. Gracie, what's up? I need some tips.
Jamie, you want a tip?
Yeah.
now.
Come on, somebody. Jalen, what's up, man?
You want a tip?
Yeah, you really want a tip? I really need some tips.
Don't call somebody on live TV, Jamie Foxx.
Well,
Like
you
I was
answered.
saying, they wasn't
Have
about-
other friends anyway. Marshawn, Barry, holla.
Jamie Foxx. Hey, what's up with it, Fox?
Listen, I need some tips.
I like L.A.
LA?
No, Dallas. That's not
Dallas?
No, Dallas not
Dallas?
too bad. We gotta get to Miami. How about Detroit? Nah, Harry over there betting
You
with
know,
his
I'm
heart.
gonna call y'all right back. Vanessa, I need your help.
I got a tip for you. Always go with your gut.
I like that. Going with my gut. Let's go with our gut.
Have you ever wanted to know what it's like to get into the mind of an NFL quarterback? To see the field the way that they see it? Well, I'm about to dive into the mind of Denver Broncos former QB, Jake the Snake Plummer. This Pro Bowler is going to show me how it's done, and I'm going to see if I can do it too. This is Bet She Can. I've got to ask you, when it comes to being a quarterback in the NFL, what is the mindset going on the field, being able to see the entire field?
Well, you have to just trust in the muscle memory and the work that you put in, not only the week before, but all the weeks before in the off season and in the film room. I couldn't imagine to try to explain. There's 11 guys out there, 5 of them are coming after you, 6 of them are running around. You just have to have trust in your teammates, and depth perception is really key.
Okay, depth perception.
Yeah.
Depth perception is really important in softball as well, as far, especially the outfield, being able to read the balls you want to read. So for you, when you're on the field, being able to see the whole field, having that trust, what is the most important thing that you do to work off the field to bring it on the field?
Yeah, it's just repetitions, throwing a lot of balls to understand, what each route depth is, where the guys are supposed to be, and then there's that trust with the receivers. You have to build camaraderie, build that connection. Sometimes you have it immediately. Other times it takes a little bit of work to understand a guy's speed out of the break, or this guy's quick out of the break, or this guy's always short on his route. You got to just keep working through those little differences, and really practice makes perfect when it comes to finding that and trusting that depth that they're going to be at, because they got to get there too. Part of it is them getting there, and then me delivering the ball on time to that exact spot.
This has been Bet She Can on BetMGM, and one thing's for sure, if you bet on me, you won't lose, baby. Thanks, Jake.
Liv, my oh my, how things
All
change
right.
in 55 seconds.
Oh, I was posting our link on Instagram. Jamar Chase catch, first and goal.
Jamar Chase, big catch. We're on 2nd and goal, so now I'm got the advantage on you here. But I'll be even keeled.
Oh, come on. Okay, yeah, I was just putting on my Instagram story the link for people to come and join us for this 4th quarter. Welcome back in, everyone who's been with us for the game. Thanks for all your comments. It's been fun to converse with y'all and have you ask our amazing guests some questions. How about our guests? This has been fun.
It's been awesome. And, for me, this is some bucket list kind of stuff, because I'm usually just the guy that comes and slots in for 10 minutes on the podcast. You guys are the hosts.
We've upgraded you now.
I've got to do a little of that. Thanks, Jerry, for being tied up today. So it's good to fill in and take his spot.
Okay, here we go. 2nd and goal. Oh, I think
we had
touchdown.
We had a couple folks in here that said Joe Mixon next touchdown. Unfortunately, they got it snatched up by P. Ryan instead. But we got a game here, though.
We do got a game here. Okay, were there any P. Ryan props that we were talking about earlier?
We didn't have any.
I think it was one of the most bet, though, from John Ewing. Yeah, over 16.5 receiving yards. So what's he at?
Let's see right here.
He's at just 4. Yeah. Okay, so that one's not hitting. So a lot of people put their money in on that one. They better hope he catches the ball a little bit here. Extra point is good. We got a tie game.
I mean, this is one of those classic examples we've talked about on the podcast too. Like, I never know which way to go in terms of weapons, 2 running backs in the backfield. It's really hard to just, from a fantasy perspective and from a betting perspective, to go and say, oh yeah, I think Mixon's going to be the guy that balls out.
Yeah. Another quick point to make, 2020, so the point total's at 40, 48.5 was the closing total. So you got to like where you're at there. Another quarter of play. You just need a couple field goals or a touchdown and field goal, and you're good. And it looked like a lot of people were loving the over. Yeah, 67% of the bets were on the over.
I mean, smells what you were talking about, like 3-point game, field goal to win it at some point.
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of game that these two teams always play. And this is awesome. I mean, this is the start of a legitimate rivalry. So maybe we see this 5 times over the next 7 years.
Victor Pack is asking if there's a free promo code. Peter, for people who are just joining in, do you want to tell us what you told us earlier in the show about giving out some free bets?
Yeah. Victor, no promo code required. If you haven't played on BetMGM and haven't signed up and you're in one of our legal states, all you need to do is sign up, register your account, make your first deposit, and your first bet, if you don't hit it, it is paid back in bonus bets up to $1,000 to us. So all you need to do is register, deposit, place that first bet on anything you want. If it doesn't hit, we pay you back in bonus bets right after immediately. So no bonus code required. Some cool things that we're doing too. Stick around here for Super Bowl. So a couple weeks, we have our big game prop bet, chance to win $100,000. All you need to do is guess a couple of props correctly. Person with the most, $100,000 in your pocket. So really cool stuff. And if you have any questions, BetMGM on Twitter, we'll be able to help you out. No problem.
I got you, Victor. I got you. A little bit of news that Bobby Howard just made me look up on Twitter is Kellen Moore, Dallas offensive coordinator, was just fired. Interesting. Or mutually parted ways, but we know what that means.
We know what that means. Can't say that I'm too shocked with that decision, especially after probably latter half of the season and selection in that divisional game last week where their offense just did not look great. They put up 12 points?
In that full game, yeah.
Yeah.
Looking out here too. Peter Kennedy, Bengals continue owning the fourth quarter. That's what has made me nervous all week, is I just feel like Joe Burrow is so cool. And if Patrick's hurt and Joe just does his thing, I feel like I like a healthy Joe Burrow. I'm nervous here, Pete. I kind of like my bet for Cincy to cover.
And you always see him cool and calm. You're going to see it in a couple seconds. You see him riling up the offensive line. Like, he knows when to be the leader, and he's just doing that now. I think certainly advantage Burrow and the Bengals right now, especially like you said with that injury to Mahomes. Just every step back looks like a struggle to him.
Yep. Also, Victor Pack is asking where I saw that stat of 67% of bets being on the over. If you go on Twitter and follow John Ewing, EWING, he is the man, and he tweets stuff like that all the time. He works for BetMGM. He's fantastic. Highly suggest following him. Okay, 1st and 10, ball in the Kansas City 22. Here we go. Now I'm nervous again, Pete. Remember early in the game? I'm nervous again.
Yep. This one's for you here, Tim Johnson. Might get some shade for this. Unrelated, but does Rodgers play for Green Bay next year?
Don't rile me up right now. I got enough going on. Oh, Lord.
I won't tell Steph about how Jets are public enemy number one for you about Favre and then potentially with Rodgers. She's a Jets fan, so.
I forgot she is a Jets fan.
Yeah, so I think that's got to be one of the short favorites to land him. Although there's got to be 10 teams that are desperately needing a quarterback right now.
This quarterback free agency is going to be nuts. Okay, here we go. Pacheco, receiving yards. We needed that. Yeah, that's the thing with Kansas City is, and it looks like he's limping a little bit. They zoom in on his face. Oh, man. What do you think, Pete? That doesn't look so good.
Yeah.
It kind of makes me scared if Kansas City does win this game. I mean, I'm sure they're fine. It just looks like, again, a hitch in the giddy up. But you do not want to have to advance and feel like you're short-staffed if your quarterback and a running back are hurt.
But this is where obviously where the extra week comes into play. But to the point of Andre and everyone else, the high ankle sprains can be 6 to 12 kind of week injuries. So
For sure.
does it actually help that 1 week, or is it just delaying the inevitable?
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather go into the Super Bowl knowing you have no shot, or let the other team slip in and just
I'd
call it
rather go into the Super Bowl
and get doors blown
and
off?
see what happens. I'm not saying they're going to get blown out. I mean, Mahomes
No.
given 2 weeks could be amazing. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, wasn't it just Andre? All these guests are now running together. Wasn't it just him who said that he doesn't like the Chiefs' chances if they were to go forward with an injured Mahomes?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Chuck is going to the sideline. Uh-oh.
And CEH out for the year? Like,
looks like it, yeah.
Is there any chance? Yeah.
Yep, and then it was McCall Hardeman, who last week was supposed to come back and re-aggravated, I believe, a groin injury. And that was a sweet target of Mahomes last season. But he had been out since November. Same with CEH.
Man, it's just crazy to think all these weapons they have. So you have McKinnon, Edwards-Helaire, and Pacheco in the backfield. And then you have Hardman, Kelsey, Juju,
MVS.
MVS, like,
yeah,
just unlimited weapons. And I think it's less about the weapons and it's more about Andy Reid and how freaking good of a coach he is. And just anybody can fit into this offense. It reminds me of the Niners. I know I'm biased, but same thing. You get a team to buy in. Anybody can come in and be successful.
I think also when you talk about Kansas City, you have to give a lot of credit to the Hunt family. That's such consistent generational ownership.
Yeah.
And they just do such a fantastic job running a culture there.
Short. You see so many owners and so many teams of people who just know they go in every year with no hope. I mean, Dan Snyder is a great example. Like, you got ownerships who they're there to just make money. And to your point, the Hunt family, the York families, those kind of families that want to win and actually want to succeed, it's actually enjoyable to watch their football versus knowing you got no shot.
Peter Kennedy saying he needs McKinnon receiving yards. I'm watching this. He only has 13. He only has 1 catch. And what was the over-under for McKinnon?
I don't know.
Well, it depends what he took it at. Peter, let us know. How many do you need? I'll put in a call.
Yeah, we'll will it in.
Yep. Man, they're zooming in on Mahomes' feet. It's just, and he's got a tape job on both ankles now, I'm seeing. Man, you do not want to punt there.
So I look like I have McKinnon 29.5 was the pregame over-under on receiving yards.
Okay.
So it's at least another catch away.
Yep. Pete, what's an NFL stadium that is high on your bucket list to go to?
It's got to be Lambeau.
Yeah.
I think Lambeau's
and if you go, you're
one.
going with me.
You sold us on it, you and Sam. So we're definitely going with you. I went to SoFi last year for the NFC Championship. If you haven't been, it's amazing. That is probably the best, like, in terms of the actual stadium. It's ridiculous.
Well, it's the newest.
I haven't been. It's definitely, it's the newest. I haven't been to Jerry's World. That's kind of on my list too, to go down to Dallas.
Really? You've never been? I saw something the other day. It's like 20 years old now or something. No, it's not. Crazy. I take that back, because it was the Super Bowl Packers Steelers 2011 was the first big event there. Okay, so it's
like 12, 13 years old.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I take that back. But still, that seems old for a stadium we think of as being new, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's actually like scary to think that that's 12 years ago when you feel like it was just yesterday.
I know. I was a senior in high school going to that game. Took that Monday off after the Packers won, because I was at the Packers victory party and Kid Rock was performing. Okay, what's happening here?
Got a flag?
Chiefs have the ball, 3rd and 9. Mahomes sack.
We'll see in a second.
Flag.
MVP
Defensive
show, another
holding.
bailout for the Chiefs. Yeah.
Eli Apple. Man. Is that lucky? This drive's been ugly.
Yeah. So when you go to a new stadium or go to a new city, like what do you look for in picking like where the Packers are going to play, where the Chiefs are going to play? Is it the stadium? Is it the city? Is it the atmosphere? So is it like an Arrowhead or a Lambeau? Like what do you
Are you
look
saying
for
if I want to go watch my teams on the road?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, city. City
So
for
like
sure.
you're going to Nashville because it's going to be right in downtown kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to LA because it's warm. Yeah, no, I'm going for city. It's funny, like my dad obviously covering the NBA and NFL. My mom will like kind of pick and choose. In NBA cities, you could argue are better than NFL cities, minus the OKCs and the Sacramentos and maybe Memphis. No offense if anyone here is from there. But the NBA cities, I mean, almost everyone is amazing any time of year. Even, you know, cold cities, you got glamorous, beautiful New York, Toronto, Boston. Yeah. Oh, Kelsey drop.
Yeah.
How far behind you am I?
3rd and 9:30 left on the clock.
Yeah.
6 seconds on the play clock.
Oh, I've got 31 seconds on the play clock.
We're going to have to invest in some sort of like cohesive streaming service for next one. And then you add Jerry to the mix. We're just going to be all over the place.
Oh, it's fun though. Yeah. People are saying these flags. Wow. A lot of laundry.
Yeah.
But you've got to, in the playoffs, you've got to catch everything.
That's why I was so mad about the incomplete pass in the Niners game. Because like I'm okay with overdoing it as long as you don't miss something huge. But when you miss something like that,
tell the story how I was about to take off right then, and you texted me, Niners playing the worst quarter ever. They scored a touchdown, or no, Philly scored a touchdown on an incomplete pass, and I go, how does one score a touchdown on an incomplete pass?
It was truly the worst quarter. It was Fred Warner got hurt, looked like he was going to be out for the game. Then that incomplete pass debacle. Then Brock Purdy got hurt. Then they got called for like 3 different defensive. I mean, it was awful.
Oh.
But it's okay. I'm not sour. It's over. It's done with. We're going to enjoy. Now I can enjoy Arizona without any stress.
Yeah. You know, there's something to that.
Yeah.
There really is. I think you'd enjoy it anyways. Do we know who our guest is yet? Are we announcing who our Unleashed guest is?
I think we know. I don't know if we're ready to announce. Maybe we can tease it. I don't know if you want to give out some hints, but I think we're locked in.
Is it someone who's been on the podcast before? Mahomes bounce pass.
I don't think he has been on the podcast yet.
Is he bald?
He may be bald.
This is too vague, Pete.
He is indeed bald.
Because I'm trying to confirm if it's who I think it is.
Sean Merriman mentioned him when he was talking to him.
Yep. Okay. He's bald.
We're just he is bald. We're just leaving.
And he's been on the podcast.
Yeah. Has he been on the podcast? Did I miss that episode?
Yeah.
Wow. Terrible co-host.
Yeah, terrible third wheel.
That might have been the week I got too much sun in the Bahamas and I was
maybe. That might have been your wedding week, actually.
That was our engagement week, and I had to run upstairs as I'm looking at Steph here and to the left of me. And I was like, "Oh, babe, sorry. I know I just gave you a ring, but I have to go upstairs and record the podcast now."
Oh boy, Steph is a trooper to be sitting next to you right now while you have to do this. But
Steph
she's watching the game.
Indeed.
Yeah.
She's watching the game. So is our little Shiba Inu Luna. So they're having a good time.
Every time I hear your dog bark, I think it's my baby crying.
Oh my God. And
well, tell Steph I say hi and I miss her and I'm excited to see her soon.
I will. We just moved into a new apartment yesterday and it's been madness these last couple of days. So it's nice to just sit and relax and enjoy the game.
Good. Before you get into all those moving boxes, or are you done?
We're about halfway there.
Okay.
So still got some work to do.
Okay, so let's see where we're at now. Tied up, 9:18 left, 20 all. And for our very selfish purposes, Dylan, can we throw up our bets one more time as people are joining? So, Pete, you still think Cincinnati -1.5?
Yeah, that's
in your parlay too.
So that's in both. So right now, live numbers, Cincy is -2.5 on the live line, -130. So a couple of quarters ago when I mentioned great value at 250, 425, and this is where it's coming into play. So if you were lucky enough to either double down or hedge, you're probably putting yourself in a really good position now with the score being tied. And yeah, got to feel good about -1.5 now. And I think we're still looking pretty good with Mahomes. He's at 285 right now. So
you want him under 329?
Yeah, it's going to come close. It's just going to be about possession, I think, for the last 7-8 minutes, whatever is left in the game.
Yeah, but can't you just see Mahomes like turning on the Jets?
Yeah, I know.
In the end, just pew, 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 pew.
It was one of those bets I took, obviously, when the injury was really bad, thinking he might not play. And now the injury is really bad, and he's just turning it up. So
okay, what I am
for doubting.
I mean, it still could happen, but Pacheco only has 18 yards on the ground, and I took over 49.5. They've been using him much more catching the ball, which is exciting.
Yeah, 4 for 43.
Yeah, and then I need Mahomes over 2.5 pass touchdowns, so just one away from that. And as I was scrolling, I missed what was my other one?
You're kind of hedging
Bengals
yourself
plus 2.5. I know.
It's either Bengals are going to win, or Mahomes is going to score that third touchdown. You're going to win that bet. So maybe it'll just break even, or we go into overtime. They both score a touchdown here, and then the Bengals win it.
Okay.
But also, then there's the mental hedge of all this, where you want the Chiefs to win. So where is Olivia
the mental hedge
head right now?
I maybe still in Dallas or London or wherever I've been. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, a holding call.
We got a super important question here from Bobby Howard in the chat. Best barbecue: KC, Texas, Memphis, or Carolina?
Really, Bobby Howard? That's an easy answer. Kansas City. Kansas City, my man. And if you come to Kansas City and you're looking for the best barbecue, my suggestion personally, it used to be called Oklahoma Joe's. Now it's called Kansas City Joe's. But if you just tell people Joe's, they'll know what you're talking about. And it's in a gas station. And it's like 3 blocks from my house. And it doesn't matter any time of day you're standing in line there. You'll see big Fortune 500 CEOs. You'll see Chiefs players. You'll see mechanics, garbage truck men, everyone standing in the same line. It is the best. And there's always a line out the door. And it is truly in a gas station. So go to Joe's.
That's how you
or Jack Stack. Jack Stacks.
That's how you know it's the best. When you got all walks of the world in one restaurant, then you know you've made it.
Yep. Yeah, but I've seen limos pull up there. Like it's nuts. And it's, cheap. You get like a sandwich for $5. It's amazing.
Yep. Not here in New York City.
Can't get your hands on some good barbecue. Yeah, but you guys have such good Italian food.
I meant something for $5.
Oh, Big Burrow Run. Big Burrow Run. How many yards was that?
He's got 3 for 27 now total.
That was a 14-yard gain. See, this is what scares me as a Chiefs fan. Joe Cool, here he comes. Okay, little Joe Mixon action. That was the longest run by either team. That 14 yards. How is that possible?
Crazy.
Okay, here's a big, that Joe Mixon run. So I have the game cast pulled up, which is ahead of, it's like really in real time. And then, and then the game. So my mind is all over the place.
You're just all over the map.
Yeah. But you're right. They're like first half, 18 rush yards for Cincinnati. Second half, 49. I mean, still, this is Now Cincinnati's running it well, but
Yep.
this has been an air attack.
Oh, man.
Incomplete to Chase.
So,
oh, you know what I'd like to do
you,
real quick? I'd love everyone to say where they're watching from. We've talked a lot about geography. I think I've insulted 3 cities. Let's see and hear where everyone's from. So go ahead and comment. Pete's in New Jersey. I'm in Kansas City, I've been saying.
Oh.
And our uh-oh.
Just wait. Won't say anything. Even
my
even
game
keeled,
cast
you don't
doesn't
know
say
what's.
anything yet. Why am I not seeing anything? I'm not seeing anything on the game cast or right. Okay, Burrow's throwing. Oh no. Oh, bobbled. Oh, picked. Was that Jamal Williams? Joshua Williams. Oh my God. Oh, Arrowhead's gotta be nuts right now. I swear to God, Pete, if I opened my front door, I bet I could hear it.
So we got a lot of people from a lot of different areas.
Okay,
here.
let's see.
San Diego, Nashville,
Woo!
Akron, Lawrenceburg, another Peter in Jersey City here. So there's 2
Wow.
Peters in JC, which is ironic there.
Hey, LA
Philly,
Rams up had a good point right there. Wasn't that like the Bengals interception of Mahomes last year? Tip the pass to your teammate. It was. This is a little too reminiscent. Oh, it's so fun to see everyone city. Sorry, Bobby Howard, about what I said about Oklahoma City. It's a great city. I've gone to watch my husband play basketball there a lot, and we always went to that one restaurant that's like really high up in a tall tower. You probably know what it is.
What was that?
What, the restaurant I was talking about?
Yeah.
It's a restaurant in Oklahoma City that's fantastic. It's like 30, 40 something. I mean, I know in New York, New Jersey, that's not that high up, but Vast. It's called Vast, and it's amazing. Oh, that's awesome.
Bobby's just still upset about the comment, dashing it, so he's not even going to acknowledge it. There he is. Vast, very solid.
That I'm telling you, yeah.
Reaffirms it.
Yeah. No, that restaurant is cool. It's this one super tall building in Oklahoma City with a restaurant at the top. It's amazing. Yep. These rookies in Kansas City making plays, and they've had to in the secondary, like Jalen Watson earlier with the pick. Now is this Joshua Williams? Yeah, fantastic. 10 different players with a reception tonight. 10 different Chiefs with a reception tonight.
Wait till you see this reception right here. It's just classic Mahomes.
Angles. He can throw so many different types of ways. Like his arm goes.
I know, it's crazy.
Angles. Yeah. Sidearm.
Oh.
What?
Nothing, but it's a questionable throw.
Short to Sky Moore.
Was it Sky Moore? Is that you reading the game?
24. Mm-hmm.
They called pass interference, so never mind.
Delay, man, I swear. Okay, Mahomes is 306. Okay, I just saw the
306
short pass. You're getting close, Pete. What was your under 3?
329.5.
Uh-oh.
I think it's toast. Yeah.
Boy, that looked good just a couple minutes ago, but I told you this.
I know.
End of game, we knew this was going to happen. That might be your closest thing right now.
Oh. No, we're done. Pacheco just broke a big one. Receiving, not rushing. Wow. You probably had 3 different Bengals players just completely missed that tackle.
Oh, my God. Oh, I just saw it. Boy, are those three going to have to see that one in film unless they lose this game and they're all going home and no one's watching film.
Yep.
It's like no one wrapped him up. How did they miss that? Man.
Basic
Rookie.
fundamentals like that lose you a game.
Yeah. You go, Rook. Oh, that is awesome. Oh, he's hype.
I mean, look at our StatCast here on the screen.
Mhm.
Everything's we're pretty even for the most part on a lot of different kind of stats here.
Penalties, turnovers, punts. Yeah. Kansas City, the 2 pass touchdowns. Cincy has 1 rushing, 1 passing.
Tell you, Mahomes with a sneak for probably 1 yard. I give him so much credit for doing that and actually coming out of the pocket or trying to actually advance with that ankle.
Yep.
Anything you would ever say about Mahomes, you have to lay it to rest because he's a gamer.
Oh, I'm just seeing it right now. That should not even have to be his option, though. I mean, you can tell that's clearly the last option.
Yeah.
They do not want him on his feet. Yikes.
Also, did we talk about on the podcast the other day when they interviewed Andy Reid and asked about playing the game in Germany and how he said he's just looking forward to eating the bratwurst or the sausage?
No, we did not talk about that. But now you're making me hungry.
Little gem quotes like that. No, little gem quotes like that just make everything.
What do you like better, a bratwurst or a hot dog?
Brat, for sure.
Yeah. Hot dogs shouldn't really be eaten. Like I say to my husband, I'm not going to be crazy about what our kid eats, but I just don't feel the need to give him a hot dog once you really look at what's in a hot dog.
I think I might get a lot of shit for this, but I think it's the most overrated ballpark food.
Yeah.
Burger and fingers and all that stuff I'm all in on.
Oh. Give me chicken fingers for the rest of my life with honey mustard or buffalo sauce or God, I'm so hungry now.
You ever go to
but a bratwurst is yeah. Those honey chicken
fingers.
The spicy honey chicken thing. Yeah.
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 Unbelievable.
I got those last year. I went to the game with Giannis Pappas, who was on Unleashed. We went to MSG to watch a Knicks game, Raptors at Knicks, and had that hot honey chicken, and it was the best thing I'd ever eaten. At a stadium, at an arena, up there.
Yep.
But a bratwurst at Lambeau Field just hits different.
It's different. Yeah. It's just one of those things I fully expect. You can't not go to Lambeau and have one of those.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. 2.5 minutes left.
Got my special guest host here with me.
Oh, hey. And what's the name?
This is Luna.
Oh, that's right. I knew that. Luna.
5-year-old Shiba Inu who is going crazy.
Oh, my gosh. I was too slow. I was going to put her on my story. Okay, Chiefs punt here. Damn. That is really disappointing.
Yeah. Hefty Duck.
How
what
much
a weird
clock?
game is right.
How much clock can Cincinnati eat up?
2 timeouts.
What's it? How many seconds can you not afford to give Patrick Mahomes from the Bills game last year? 13? Was it 13 seconds?
I think it was 13 seconds.
But honestly, he's so not himself. He's not full strength.
Yeah.
Oh, man, my heart is beating. Here we go. What? Something I have a bad feeling about this. Cincinnati is going to march here.
What did we finish at with yards here from Mahomes on the last? 326. So I might I might be able to pull this off.
So he cannot get the ball back.
Yeah.
Because I think that one's out.
You need to go, 65 yards here to get into field goal territory? 60?
Uh-huh.
Just
And
do
then,
that.
of
By the
course,
way, this
it's going to
bet-
be a 3-point game, like it always is.
Yep. And I think Olivia knows this and Jerry. But these bets that I place, I actually really place them. So
Yeah,
it's not
yes.
just us joking around. Like, I actually place these bets and live and die by them every week, which some weeks I have a fantastic week, some weeks I don't. But this would be a plus 1250 hit. So this would be nice. All those moving costs from the last week. It'd be really nice to get that hit back.
Seriously. Oh my gosh. You know what bothers me? Like, I obviously live in Kansas City, but I live on the Missouri side where it's not legal. On the Kansas side, it
Yeah.
is. So if I drive to my parents' house about 5 minutes away, I can bet on the BetMGM app.
What makes you live on one side versus the other, just like anywhere else, one town versus the next?
Honestly, for us, it's location. If people know Kansas City, the Country Club Plaza is like bars, restaurants, shops, cool area. And since my
Yep.
husband's not from here, I knew if we were going to move back here, we'd have to live somewhere that sold it. You know, I couldn't just like live in the burbs next to my parents and siblings. Like, that'd be too boring. I know he'd want to like live somewhere like cool location. So that's one reason. And then income tax in Missouri is much lower than Kansas and Wisconsin. And yeah, that being said, this is such a tangent. No one cares.
No. So here's a good redirect back to the game. So this is
Yes,
something you were
please.
talking about earlier. Anthony Pagnotta. So if Burrow wins, does he officially take over the top QB of the league mantra? I think that's what
We
you
even
said,
talked about
right?
that. I did.
Yeah.
And I think it's not even close. Now, I don't think it's fair or long lasting because how is Mahomes supposed to compete in this game when he's not full strength? And like you said, even that little 1-yard run or whatever he's done, he's had 2 passing touchdowns. Like, he still had a good game and he's on one freaking leg.
Yeah.
But I think, how do you not give Burrow his flowers if he pulls off a 4th victory over what we consider the best quarterback in the league right now?
And if he pulls it off in 2 weeks too and wins the Super Bowl.
Yes. And if he beats him twice in a season and
Yeah.
did the season before. I mean, you know, how do you do
I
that?
think we're kind of just proving the point already, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, kind of a weaker finish for Josh Allen. So his name with recency bias kind of drops off our list. But certainly he's in the conversation. All I know is we've got a really bright future of young NFL quarterbacks for the next like 10 years.
Totally.
And you know they're just going to keep coming. Oh, Burrow fumble.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Colts cast. Game is way better than the NFC Championship. Yes, but that's not really saying much.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst NFC Championship situation we could have had with the injury like that. I mean, Olivia, the best thing you could have done was be in the air during that game. Like, it was that bad. It got to the point the Niners, they were going for it on like 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 20, just running draws, trying to get first downs, not like trying to just surrender and punt the ball. That's all they could do.
Hey, Kansas City's defense right now is doing a hell of a job not giving this one up. They are making life really hard for Joe Burrow. And now he looks banged up. What's going on with like his hand? Watch his hand here in the replay.
I've got flag on the play here. 1:22 left.
And now he's hiding it in his hand warmer. I think something's up with his hand. His right hand, maybe? Because he was shaking it out and then he immediately put it in his hand warmer. Maybe he like nicked out a helmet or something and it's bleeding a bit. Which also,
they called the
in the
intentional
cold,
grounding. Yeah.
In the cold, bare hands. And now it's the
That's the
final
worst.
minutes of the game. Oh my God. Their hands must be hurting. Yeah, Dennis Bennett noticed Burrow holding his wrist funny.
3rd and 16.
This has been a weird drive. I was wrong. They are not marching down the field. Oh, God, I want to be at Arrowhead right now so bad.
Do you guys
Okay,
do you have season tickets?
Not to Chiefs. We do to Packers. So ironically, like growing up, we'd fly to Green Bay for a lot of Packer home games. And then always
Oh
Packers in the
my God.
playoffs. What? Burrow incomplete pass. What?
Catch. Hayden Hurst looks like a 25-yard catch, 30-yard catch.
Oh, man.
And that's the over on Hayden Hurst yards, I think.
Okay, good. It said it was a 23-yard gain.
Oh, where
man.
am I at?
Here they go. Boy, Hayden Hurst has been quiet.
Yeah, 3 for 35, so that gets me my over 33.5.
Okay,
so we're going for a clean sweep here now. If we could get this -1.5, clean sweep, everybody's thrilled.
Oh, that is too funny. I think you're going to get it. They're coming away from this drive, I think, at least with a field goal. Look at them.
Yeah. Anthony Pagnotta, how in the world was Hurst that open?
Yeah. It's because he's
a complete lapse.
Forgot about him.
Yeah. Hurst prop bettors have life. Yep, I do. I've hit it, so I'm thrilled.
Is that Hurst again? Yeah, I went right back to him. I covered him in college at South Carolina. And, his story, he was a great baseball player. And his story is incredible. He's really vocal about mental illness and among sports, and he's a really impressive dude. But he went pro in baseball and then went back to college to play football.
How old is Hurst?
He's like 45.
45. Hayden.
No, he's probably around my age, but he was old in college.
Yeah, 29. Yep.
He's exactly my age.
So he's like a young young Stetson Bennett, I mean.
Speaking of which, did you see our boy Stetson Bennett got arrested in Dallas last night? And I was not a part of this. I was in Dallas last night, but I didn't see him. It was like he got a misdemeanor, like public intoxication. Nothing too bad. Here we go. Nope. Are you looking it up now?
No. I was talking on mute. My headphones died, so it muted me. Is he still in the clink, or did they let him out?
I'm sure they let him out. It's QB1. He's a 2-time national champ. Let him roam. Let him on the streets. No, but I saw that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was in Dallas last night.
Nothing's still better than Stetson Bennett on, what was it, Good Morning America last year?
Oh, just very intoxicated.
14 minutes of sleep. Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, they gobbled him.
Yeah.
Oh, this Kansas City defense. Okay, it's done. Chiefs get the ball back. Oh. Boy, your passing prop. Man, Chris Jones.
Dunzo.
Wow.
14 seconds left. That's basically like a
Are
quarter
you
from.
freaking kidding? And we literally just said all I needed was 13.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I think this bad boy's going to overtime.
41 seconds. Yeah, 41 seconds left.
Oh, okay. Now, let me ask you this. Which team do you think wants it to go to overtime? Like, who do you think would do better in another period?
I think Bengals for sure. I think this is like Mahomes territory right here. Like, they know, like, crunch time, it's him. It's the Chiefs. They're begging for this to just be drawn out.
Mm-hmm.
And game's over. You'll see. Amazing punt
return
to the 50. So theoretically, you need 15, 20 yards here, get to Butker territory, call the timeout.
Yep. It'll be a 3-point Kansas City victory.
So are you sticking around and going to the big game if this ends up holding and they win?
You know, I've been to so many Super Bowls. Man, that's a great return. I've been to so many Super Bowls. I've seen the Chiefs win it in person. I've seen the Packers win it in person. Those are my two teams. If the Packers are going, very different story. But I've got to get back to London. And so I'm leaving Phoenix right before the storm. But you're right. It is different when your team's in the game. Like, everyone comes out. It's just a different week. And, we're so busy that week. We have so much going on, which is a blast. But it's different when it's your team.
Not that I'm not excited for our trip in a week and a half, but I was so excited knowing the Niners could be there. And that just completely got deflated.
I know. And I told you, bring your wife.
Yeah.
I said, I'm bringing my mom and my baby.
Is mom coming?
She is. Well, someone's got to watch the kid.
That's true. Just leave her with Jerry. Leave him with Jerry.
It actually works out perfect because then my dad calls the Super Bowl on Westwood One. So she'll come out early in the week with me, and then she'll stay, and he'll come out later in the week and do the game. Okay, commercial break. Are you feeling nervous? Are you feeling good?
Oh, no, it's beyond nerves now. It's over. Chiefs won. Like, to me, they don't lose these games.
No.
Like, play doesn't have to happen. They don't. When he has 40 seconds left and storms the field, like, granted, they're only on the 50 right now. To me, it's just inevitable for Pat.
Just to update everyone, so Pat Mahomes is at 326, and you took him at under what?
329.
Oh my God! Oh, this bet's no.
Boy,
that one's gone.
Third and 4 here, incomplete pass.
You might get lucky. And they're trying to get to the 30?
Probably the 35.
5.
Make it a 52-yarder-ish. Depends on the wind, but
didn't Bucker have one of the longest kicks of the season this season? Oh,
he's good. He's so good.
Yeah. Okay, I've got 26, 25, 24 seconds left on the game clock. How much further ahead of me are you?
Oh boy. 8 seconds left.
Oh, no.
I don't want to say it. Let everybody watch.
What?
Oh my gosh.
What's everyone saying in the comments? What's everyone saying? Oh, is it going to overtime? No timeouts. Going to go to overtime, says Hefty Deck.
No, you're getting some.
Oh, Mahomes running. Mahomes, keep that man up. Oh, yikes. Boy, have you ever seen someone's teammates run as quickly over to help up their teammate? Oh, my God, Mahomes.
The little yellow piece of laundry come out, too.
Oh, hell no. Look, and look at Kelsey just hold him up. Mahomes is like, get off me. I'm done. I'm telling you, that's what he was doing last week. I was 5 feet from him. And he was just like, I'm good. He did not want to be consoled.
And that stupid penalty puts them well into field
right
goal.
in spot. Man. Boy, Patrick Mahomes sticking his neck out. He's incredible.
Yeah, I mean.
He's incredible.
Such a baller.
Golly. Oh, and they're looking at his leg. Bobby Howard thinks it's a torn ACL. I hope you're wrong, but that was a weird way for this game to end, if that's what we're going out on.
45-yard attempt here.
Okay. He's got it. What does it say? 9 for 12? From that distance?
Not saying anything.
It hasn't already happened.
It's already happened.
Okay, well, you seem very unfazed. If he missed, you'd be freaking out.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, it's good.
Trying to hold it together so that you can be more happy and more thrilled.
Okay, so we're
gonna have to work on this with this streaming thing.
I lost my my spread bet, but I think I hit a couple others. Producer Dylan, can we throw up for one last time our bets? God, that's a weird way for the game to end. Oh, look at Patrick. He's telling everyone to get off the field. They've got 3 seconds left.
So
did something happen? You're being very quiet.
No. It's good.
Okay.
It's good.
No, I saw the kick was good. They're freaking out.
No, I was just looking at the bets and saying if Bengals would have just pulled it out. He ended up finishing now with 326 passing yards.
Oh my God. Okay. So no spread. You got T. Higgins, Travis Kelce touchdowns, Mahomes under, Hayden Hurst over. That did hit, right? 33.5?
Hayden Hurst did hit, yep.
Okay, on those final 2 catches on that last drive.
Yep.
My Pacheco rush yards did not, and my Mahomes pass touchdowns did not.
So we got 3 seconds here.
Okay.
I assume they squib kick it.
Wow. Oh my God. I can't believe they're going back. What's that, 3rd Super Bowl appearance in 4 years?
Yeah. Lost to the Rams, beat the Niners.
Niners,
didn't make it last year and officially back in it.
Yep.
Crazy. And that
Crazy.
So the under hits, and then what we were talking about, the line had moved to like 43.5 for most of the game. Finished at 43. So the under hits on the 43 live line too. So
Bengals laterally, nothing's happening. Yeah.
nothing's happening.
Man, I would not have thought the under would hit.
Yeah.
Wait, Patrick Mahomes looks like he's going to cry.
It's like he looks like Jordan after the flu game. Like just
Yeah.
over.
Oh, wow. Hey, to everyone who joined in, and of course, right now we have our highest viewers right as we're wrapping up. That was so much fun to answer everyone's questions. And put in the comments right now, just as we're finishing up, what bets of yours hit and what maybe you were a little short on as we wait for this highly anticipated Patrick Mahomes post-game interview.
And I want to know final score, Super Bowl 2 weeks. We got both our teams now. What is everybody thinking? I see Eagles minus 2.5 right now from LA Rams up. I think that's probably right around where the line's going to open up. 2.5 to 3.5 is my best guess.
Oh, man. You think that close?
I think that close. I think they open it there, and then you kind of see where the week goes with Mahomes' injury. I think that's ultimately what's going to force the movement.
Yep. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for us. That was a ton of fun. That is a very interesting way to watch a game and broadcast a game. Never done something like this before. And I love it. Sitting on my living room floor, fresh from the airport with my buddy Pete. Really glad you guys could join us, and I hope we can do more of these because this is a really great way to keep the conversation open. And I hope all of you go to Unleashed, and now that you found us on YouTube, you can watch all of our episodes. So it's a really great way to get more involved and see all of our great guests. But everyone have a great Sunday night. Have a great week. What a championship Sunday. We've got 2 weeks to the final game of the season, and we're going to be previewing it this week on Unleashed with Peter Andreu, of course. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
See you in a week.
You have to live.
Sorry, Tex.
You don't have to be sorry. You never ran from anything in your life, and you're not going to start now. You got to fight it. Wait a minute. Oh, snap. Dallas just covered the spread. We got the money, baby.
Jamie.
Bang.
Jamie, could you just... Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Hold off!
Okay. Where was I?
Oh, I was dying.
Dying. Let's go.
Sorry.